Twitter, and Instagram. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review so we can continue to give you the ish that we talk. And now that is out the way, I will not act like I'm on AM fucking radio. What the fuck's the deal? All of you ugly motherfuckers. What's poppin'? I'm here with you. We here together. We gonna make this shit pop.
What is going on? Uh-oh. There we go. Hey, everyone.
What's happening? I don't know what just happened to my camera, but we going to keep it moving. What's happening, everybody? This is Lily. You know who I am. Y'all have been tuning in for a long time. I am the host of this show. The show is called The Ish We Talk. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, X, I guess Twitter. Well, no, it's not Twitter anymore. I said X. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. And if you're on Apple Podcasts, please give us a 5-star review so we can continue to give you, I guess, the ish that we talk. Big shout out to TikTok. Big shout out to Twitch for keeping us motivated, keeping us moving, pushing those comments in. We're on right now. I am on live with TikTok, and I think Lindsay's on live with TikTok.
Yeah.
Let's give a round of applause for Lindsay. Lindsay is the host of this show, co-host of this show. She pushes the bells and the whistles. The creme de la creme. Without her would not be no me. Again, so let's give a round of applause for Lindsay.
Hi, everyone. And my apologies today because we were supposed to be on a long time ago. But life be lifing.
Life be lifing. It is what it is. We back on it. And again, this is the ish that we talk. Lindsay, what's been going on with your week? How's your health? How's your wealth? What's going on, my dog?
You know, like I said, life be lifing. But you know, we here. So how's your week going?
My week's been going cool. Regular old rigmarole of this trying to live with a toddler. Of course, you don't know what it is as a man, but as a man, for my man that are watching, your woman's gonna be mad at you probably 50% of the time because as men sometimes we just be on our man shit. And we forget, like, even though because I hang out with my baby as soon as I get off, but I don't hang out with my baby like she hangs out with the baby. So sometimes I do some shit to make her paranoid.
Oh, gotcha. Yeah, y'all be roughhousing and stuff.
Yeah, I let him hang off the edge and all sorts of shit, and she'd be like, "Nah," and I'm like, "Nah, let him figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Let him do it."
Yeah.
He got frustrated the other day over some stuff, and so he was having a tantrum, and I was like, "Nope, we're gonna figure it out." And she was like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to back up and let you deal with that." I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna figure it out."
Yeah.
And he's like, he don't get it now. I'm like, "Yeah, he do. If he gets it, he's mad, and he gets it, he can figure it out."
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what's up, though. A lot of women be like, clutching their pearls or holding their breath when it comes to roughhousing with little boys and stuff. Because little boys are rough. They're extremely rough.
Dude, that's the first thing he do. I'm like, and I've never hit my son.
Yeah.
So the crazy part about it, when he mad, that's the first thing he do. So that's an innate trait in him.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, as soon as he get frustrated, the nearest thing close to him, he fucking slaps the shit out of. So I'm like, golly, I'm like, nah, and my thing is, shout out to my Uncle Lewis for teaching me this, because I was the same way growing up. I was like, all my anger just would make me like kick walls and do all extra. He taught me how to like regulate yourself in that mood of anger, like, because people's feelings or man's feelings are validated. Young man's, young boys, your feeling is validated, but you need to know how to channel that, and you need to know where to do that. Like, my uncle used to always tell me, like, are you gonna hit a wall when somebody say something to you disrespectful, or you gonna hit that man? Because like hitting the wall ain't gonna justify what that man just said to you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
hitting that man might get you sent to jail.
Hitting that man might do that. And he used to teach me that too. So he said you need to learn how to channel it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, learn how to channel, you know what I'm saying? Learn how to channel that anger.
And find a positive outlet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not only find a positive outlet, but if you're gonna push this, you need to keep that same anger when you push it. Because that's what gives results with, you know what I'm saying, with a smart mind, instead of, you know what I'm saying, you just going off and doing what they expect you to do.
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna change some shit, you're gonna change some shit on the same resolve that you had that anger with.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense.
I'm currently going through that now. Not even gonna lie. So I'm like, instead of like totally like Chief Keef and a nigga, like, you know, documentation is key.
Yeah. Got you. I got you. Well, yeah, sounds like fun times.
Yeah, it's, you know, being a 42-year-old man with a son is very wild. I'm not even gonna lie to you, because as you get older, you realize certain things that I would probably in my 20s or 30s, I would probably let him go through it. But now that I've got certain things, I'm like, okay, let me educate him on it. So by the time he gets my age, he's 100% better at dealing with things.
Okay. So let me ask you this. As a person who waited later than what people initially expect for you to have kids, was that a decision that you regret, or that you absolutely glad that you did?
I'm absolutely glad that I made this decision. And the reason why I'm absolutely glad that I made the decision, because at this age, I have transcended what I used to be. And so if he was here when I was in my 20s, to just be quite honest and keep it totally real with America, if he was here in my 20s, I know how hard I go for him now, so I know how hard I would have went for him then, but I didn't have the intelligence that I have now, and he probably would have spent years with me, probably being in prison, just being 100.
Yeah,
because I want my son to have the finer things in life, and now that I'm at this age and understand how life works, I'm not making. Just to be quite honest, I would never make a penitentiary chance. Now, I would have made superior penitentiary chances when I was in my 20s.
I got you, and that totally makes sense. So it's the maturity level, and the wisdom.
Yeah, and no downplay to any man that took care of their children in their 20s. And end up in that situation. I 100% applaud you, because I would have been in that same boat. Because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think because you're in the streets, you're just doing that shit because you want a name or you want clout. If you don't know no better, you're not gonna know what I'm saying. You can't change who you are. And if your kids need something, you gonna do what you know. You gonna get your know-how in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm so glad that God made sure that I had the wisdom enough to not to keep jumping off the porch. By the time he came, I had the mentality of staying on the porch and just watching you niggas.
Yeah, got you. I got you. Okay. So yeah, you ready to get into these topics?
Let's get into these topics because
All
that
right.
didn't have nothing to do with nothing. That was
No,
just
sometimes we get deep. You know.
yeah, that was just a father one-on-one. Shout
Yeah.
out to this is Man's Mental Health Month, so boom, there we go.
Mm-hmm. Right, right. And you've been on this whole dad supporting dad movement, which is really cool. Really cool because, you know, another left here. Uh, we look to men for a lot of things, but nobody takes in, well, I guess they're starting to. I mean, with the mental month and whatnot. But for a while, we did not think about who the men look to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we look to them to be the end all be all, the answers and all that. And sometimes they ain't got all the answers, like, you know.
I'm
And
glad you
sometimes they
said that,
need help. Sometimes they need somebody to look on to, you know.
and I'm 100% glad you said that because and it's no downplay to a lot of women that I've interacted with, but some women just totally do not respect this month, nor do they respect how a man's mental is. They truly believe man, this is what a man's supposed to do. Bop, 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 A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Like, and I get it. And I will say this, and then we'll get on in our topics. But I will say this. Some women, either they didn't have a father in their life or they had a father in their life that was very, very silent. And when I say silent, I'm not saying the stoic man that, you know what I'm saying, that really took care of things. I'm talking about the man that really didn't say nothing and really wasn't making the rules and regulations of the house. When you have that type of man, then you have that type of woman that doesn't believe that a man's mental clarity is key.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? For us to be the person that you want us to be, our mental stability is key. And one part of our mental stability is communication and you not shooting down our emotions on things.
Yeah.
But a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't see that. A lot of women don't see that. A lot of men don't see that. There's so many men that feel like they got to shove things down deep into the crevice of their life, and then they wonder why they're still by themselves. It's like, I ain't telling you to be super emotional, but what I'm telling you is if you don't communicate with the person that you so-called love, then it's never gonna work.
Yeah. Right, right. And that's not good for people to, to shove it deep down. Like men, like just like women need a safe space, men need a safe space as well. And if home ain't that safe space, then that's a problem.
That's the problem. And you wonder why men do that. And old saying, it's not an old saying, but the truth be told, women are way better cheaters than men. But a lot of times, and I ain't talking about fuck niggas. I'm talking about man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes men cheat because it's a spot somewhere where they're safe.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be surprised how many men are not safe in their own house.
Yeah.
Where as soon as they get home, fuck what they feel, fuck what they going through. It's everybody else's problems that they have to deal with. And sometimes it'll be they'll go somewhere where that's not happening, and that's where they end up being.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll get mad at that man, and especially women. A woman to get mad at a man for going ahead and going there, divorcing, doing this whole thing, and be like, I don't see why he with her anyway, because now she ain't gonna do nothing but cheat on him because that's what her MO is. Like, no, sometimes it don't be like that. Sometimes you be surprised how a man could move on and be with somebody that actually has his best interest at heart.
Mm-hmm. No, it makes sense to me.
You know what I'm saying? I've seen it. Like, and I'll be like,
Yeah.
motherfuckers be like, oh, he ain't shit. He left his kid. No, he didn't. He invited his kids over there every time. He brought his kids over there every time. His kids love the shit out of Gertrude. Gertrude is the best woman in the world to his kids.
That's your go-to, Gertrude.
You know, I love that name. Right. I love that name.
All right, well, let's see. Just the Facts is watching. Hi, and they say Jeremiah 17:5-8 in the NIV. This is what the Lord says. Cursed is the one who trusts in man, who draws strength from mere flesh, and whose heart turns away from the Lord.
I mean, you know what? You're 100% right, and I'm not going to shoot you down on a Bible verse at all.
Right.
But what I'm telling you is, in this level, is if you trust in the Lord, then the Lord will tell you that sometimes if your right arm is hindering you, you cut that motherfucker off.
Oh, well, all right.
And that's a verse. I don't know the name of the verse, but it's
I don't think they say motherfucker in the Bible.
It doesn't say motherfucker in it, but it says if your right arm is hindering you, then you cut it off.
Yeah. Right. And that's literally and metaphorically.
Yeah. So let's just keep it a bean. You know what I'm saying? Let's just keep it a bean. I'm not telling nobody to go out and leave your spouse, but I'm saying if it's not a place of comfort and safety where you don't feel comfortable not only being a man but being a father, then yeah, I would say you have to go. And that's regardless of mental health month. That's the same way with a woman. I would never tell a woman to stay in a place where she doesn't feel safe.
Yeah. I mean, like if we take that saying in the literal sense, cutting off an arm is like the last resort. You know what I'm saying? Like you go through so many steps to try to save it. So if you look at it metaphorically, then absolutely you go through so many steps to try to save the situation. And if the situation just is not salvageable, then you metaphorically cut it. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Cut it.
Hey, man.
Right.
You need to cut it.
Right.
All jokes aside, but that's just the truth. Everybody's gonna go through trials and tribulations. No relationship is ever a 100% good relationship. I tell people if you got an easy relationship, if you tell me your relationship is easy, then I would tell you probably need to check your woman's phone.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not being no extra. That's just keeping it 100. If she can't talk to you about her emotions and tell you how she feels from the good, the bad, the ugly, then you need to check her phone because she's really not into you. She's not there. She's not there.
Well, I mean, checking the phone, you're not necessarily getting all the answers. I wouldn't just 100% go to cheating. Like you could just be checking.
I wouldn't go to. I'm not saying women go to cheating, but if you check her phone, you're going to find some shit about you that you know what I'm saying, you probably didn't even think that she, thought was wrong.
Yeah, like
you know what I'm saying, like
somebody else.
Yeah, she's venting to somebody, and it could just be a girlfriend, it could be her mama, it could be her auntie. But I always tell, and this is just from my experience. I would say this, because I've checked a woman's phone, but that I wasn't in a relationship with her. It was I just knew she was on some extra. But what I would say is this: if you're in a relationship and you've been with a woman for years, and anything you say, you can say the dumbest shit in the world, and she say, "All right, cool," and don't have no rebuttal, you probably need to look at what her phone, because she's probably talking crazy. And not only is she talking crazy, you need to pay attention to how her friends and how her family treat you and how they look when you come in. Because that's going to tell you a lot.
Okay.
She doesn't say nothing to you, but everybody that she hangs out with either know you ain't shit or no, she's sucking a dick on the side. That's just the truth.
Dang, she gotta be sucking dick on the side. How come she can't just be taken out on dates? Why she gotta be sucking dick?
Yeah, and listen, I'm not gonna play into the mental women don't suck dick. Women suck dick. We not, we're children who were born in the 1900s. After 1970, dick sucking was normal. I don't give a fuck with. And now, if you think about the millennials, that's the first fucking date.
Whoa. Sucking dick is the first date?
Man, listen. If you were born in between the years of 1982 to 2001, 9 times out of 10, you gon' 9 times out of 10, sucking dick is gonna happen probably on the first or second date.
Well, all right. You should learn something new every day. Okay.
Just what it is. It's the process of sex. Sex is a process. Now, especially nowadays with these young dudes, they be taking blue chews and liquor store pills and all this old extra.
Man.
I remember growing up when women used to be like, why I gotta get your dick hard? Your dick should be hard when I get there. Nowadays, it's a mandatory fucking thing. Like, nowadays, they just know, like, I'm gonna pop this pill and this motherfucker about to shoot the fuck out my pants in the middle of goddamn Applebee's.
Wow.
I think that's why women don't like to go to Cheesecake Factory no more. Because they like, at least if your dick is just gonna be hard all day and take me to Eddie V's. Jesus Christ.
Wow. Did not know these things.
Man,
this is very informative. Okay.
I'm just a man, y'all. So I'm a man that I grew up around women. And like certain things, like I'ma always be on man's side, but certain things I really do understand on the woman diaspora. And like I grew up in the whole phase of why I gotta get this dick hard, bop, 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 bop. And a lot of men was telling their sons this type of thing and what have to and what women be doing. And so a lot of these young bulls already, that's why Blue Chew and Roll and all that, why you think they making so much money? Because these little niggas be like, I ain't even about to be playing that type of game with her. I'm about to I'm gonna pop this motherfucker and she gonna know what it is.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when Viagra first came out, it was like the funniest thing in America. Like literally.
Remember how they used to just only advertise the white man?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now fast forward to 2025.
Yeah.
It ain't nothing but Latinos or black niggas advertising Blue Chew.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. And you have so many things, and now it's such a normalcy that it's just like whatever. But I ain't even gonna front. If I hear somebody like if somebody tells me that they take that or whatever, or any type of thing to help in that manner, I'm gonna look at you a little sideways because for one, I don't think because like I'm still under the ideology that you have to be a certain age to have that issue. So I'm gonna kind of look at you a certain way, like, why are you having this issue? What's going on? Because I feel like you're too young to have that issue. But then some people do it and don't have the issue at all. So I feel like part of it is laziness.
I will say this because you're right. One part is laziness. Another part that don't nobody speak on is the anxiety that a man has between the ages of 21 to 35.
Yeah.
That anxiety of a man is this. social media, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to have your house ready, you got to have a dream car, you got to have a certain amount of money in the bank, all of this, and this is just not realistic. So a lot of times the only thing that a man can, and I hate to say this, but I'm gonna keep it real, especially for my young boys out here. If you're a 23-year-old man and you working at you going to school and you working part-time at Burger King, the only thing you got to bring to the table at that time is dick. And so the last thing I want to worry about is my dick not working because we had 2 or 3 drinks.
Yeah.
Like, people, I've been young before, I've been broke before, I've been all of these things, and so that's why I be telling people, like, it's not one of those things where you can shun people. As what we need to do as a collective, as a whole, as a human race, is stop expecting these things that you see on the interwebs. Like, everybody's not a content creator, everybody is not in real estate, everybody is not some entrepreneur, everybody is not a day trader. But you see that, especially all of our young people are being influenced by what they see.
Mm-hmm.
And so the only thing they can bring to the table is a physical aspect of it. Why you think a lot of these women, not downplaying them, but a lot of these women rather throw pussy than to actually use their brain capacity? Because they like, well, he ain't gonna like me if he find out I'm a nerd, but I'm gonna go pay this money to get my ass big. Like these are the things that mentally we are fucked up out here.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I can agree with you on that. That's laziness as well. You know what I mean?
100%.
It's not the only thing, but it's definitely a part because it takes a lot of time to try to get to know somebody and actually find out that you like them and then maintain them with your mind, all that kind of stuff. That takes a lot of time and effort. But if I get this body right, that's an added bonus that I don't have to work as hard to keep them, you know, or to catch them, I should say.
Yeah. And then I think I found somebody, and then I found out he a scammer with anxiety. Like, hey, it's so much shit.
Yeah.
I feel so sorry for individuals that really never was outside, because everybody want to act like they outside. A lot of y'all not outside like that. A lot of y'all are just only outside to go to post on social media. None of y'all are really outside. I was really outside. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's not me bigging up myself or doing anything like that, but anybody that I grew up with, they attest to, nigga, I was outside. I'm everywhere. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to intermingle. I'm trying to be around motherfuckers, because what a motherfucker is never gonna tell me that I couldn't do, because I went through that anxiety as a teenager. When I got in my 20s, what a motherfucker couldn't tell me that I couldn't do is have the ability to have a conversation with a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And a lot of times they don't have that. You got people right now, they got 1 million views, got 200, 300,000 subscribers, and they've never really had a real conversation outside. They get nervous, they get scared, men and women. They don't know, because they hear so much stuff about being outside. They get nervous. A motherfucker come up to them and approach them, they ready to get the fuck up out of there, because they never looked the motherfucker dead in the eye and had a conversation with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they the biggest content creators ever. But if you run up on them and have a conversation, they automatically get scared and security come in. It's like, nigga, I just wanted to say, hey man, I follow you. You do a good job. Can you sign this? They can't even handle that shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But that ain't always anxiety. Sometimes that's because of these weird people that want to try to do something to them, or they try to go viral off of them because they did something that's violating. You know what I mean? So I get it. You know,
I get it for women. I don't get it for men. And the only thing I will say is this, and I will move past this. But if you're a man, I will say this, especially a young man, all of us should have this mentality. You should be able to protect yourself at all costs. So that means that sitting on video games all day or trying to be on a computer all day, that's false. Get up out of there, run, do push-ups, do sit-ups. If you got a gym membership, go to the gym. Every man, and this is the problem with America. This is why I know America is going to be washed if somebody actually comes through and storms us.
Yeah.
Y'all have that. You got to have the mentality that you got to protect yourself at all costs. At the end of the day, if you don't feel like you can protect yourself, how are you going to protect a woman?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, like, if you want to be in that position, then yeah, you definitely need to protect yourself.
Yeah, you see it now. You see motherfuckers in their 60s looking fit as a fiddle, and then you'll see a nigga 21 looking like he 81 years old.
Yeah. Right. Like some of these men be looking 20 years younger.
Yeah.
And that's because they took care of everything, not just, the physical. The mental plays a whole lot into a lot of things more than what people give it credit for. You know what I'm saying? Because stress can really fuck you up.
Exactly.
So and we have B on the line. Hey.
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 That was as white as possible. Hey. How you doing, Bucko?
Hey.
Great.
I was about to sing Macho Man.
Not much. Not Macho Man. But yeah, shout out to men's mental health.
Shout out to men's mental health. Hey, Bree. But
What up?
before we get started, I want to say this. Because I was watching TikTok. If I disrespected you in any way with that Cardi situation, I 100% apologize. And I want to say it on live because I don't want people to think.
You don't need to do that. You didn't.
Yeah, I never want people to think that we're in that we was in that phase where we were arguing with each other. I was really just stating a point.
Do you think I wouldn't have told you if you disrespected me?
I know you would.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%. I know you would have, but I just want to rectify it for the audience.
No, you don't have to. If you want to do it, that's fine. But I'm telling you now, you don't. I didn't think anything of it. I re-listened to it. I actually thought it was hilarious because he was mad. So I don't.
I did too. When I looked at it, I was like, yeah, I was really bidding for man. Like,
yeah,
you was, and I feel you, but what you have to realize is, Lily, that don't be the case all the time with this shit. You know what I mean? Like, and people be on bullshit, these men's. But you had your points and I had my points, and I still think I was right. I don't know.
I mean, the majority rulers, you know what I'm saying? The comments thought you were right too. I'm still stand on what I stand on as a man, but I think the confusion is, like you just said, that's not the case for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I get it. I get people, or I get women trying to downplay me, but that's because it's a lot of shitty ass dudes out here. Now, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I'm never gonna downplay that.
It's for sure is, and you know what I mean. Like, I actually got on this man's comments the other day because he was like, my friend think his baby mama bought a house and the child support $75 a month. So I said, and what did you say to your friend? And when I went in the comments, that's what pretty much all the women were saying. Like, and okay, what did you say to him? Because we know that's not the case. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot of celebrity men don't take care of their kids. It's just what it is. And it's what I am seeing though about that is a lot of men are getting exposed. Like, you doing it out of bitterness. It's
Yeah.
no other reason. Like you're not helping because you're mad. But I think the narrative being the women be bitter for so long that a lot of people believe that, but now the truth is prevailing. Like, nah, nigga, that's you. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
Yeah, I
I
mean,
also
and
think
it's
that
because, and that's what we was talking about before you got on. It's the emotional stability of man. It's like a lot of times, um, a lot of people downplay the emotional instability of man sometimes, and a lot of times it gets to a point where, um, we get downplayed so much. Some men either shut down or they just become just everything that you know. What I'm saying, everything that women despise for real.
I mean, they just be on. I hate to say this, and bring this up, but like your friend is $1,020 behind in child support. Is $60 a month.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't, I can't.
you know what I
I'll just
mean.
keep it a
Like,
total. I'll keep it a total being with you, Bree. I don't. Since we just being honest, I don't condone any man to be on that type of time.
and he tried to spin it to Corn or Cornell because I ended up talking to him last year because I was trying to get him to sign for Brenner's passport, but I ended up getting it anyway without his
Mm-hmm.
signature. And he tried to spin it to Corn like like I'm bitter,
Yeah.
I'm mad, and I'm like, I brought a house in 2020. This nigga's child support is $60. It's behind. At that time, it was like $400 or $500 behind, but he ain't paid it in a year, almost 2 years. So he won't pay it. Like I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
not doing anything. I don't bother this dude. And I told him, I said, and you know this man's a whole liar. You know this. So it's just crazy to me how you was quick to believe all that he said. And you know he's lying. Like that don't make sense. Like I could have been and said, I did this podcast with you. I ain't brought him up. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? I didn't plan on bringing him up. I could have been told you, like, the nigga's child support is a rack behind and 60 a month. Just cracking a joke. It's not a thing anymore. You know what I mean? He ain't seen my son since my son was 3. He'll be 7 this year. It's nothing I can do about that. I can't make him do anything, and I'm not going to. And that's just that. And like men be on bullshit. Like they try to
Yeah.
make it look like I know that if I popped up and was like, here's my fiance with my son or something like that, that's when me and him will start having friction.
See, and so my thing is this. Like I said, I can't condone men like that, and I honestly, just because we own this, for everybody that's listening to the ish we talk. Before I had children, I was just 100% team man. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm a guy, I know what I'm saying. My dick swing, you know what I'm saying. I just, I was
No,
100%
we was
man. When
live, Daniel, son. Ah!
I'm sorry, what'd you say?
I didn't know we was live, Daniel, son.
Yeah,
yeah, I said
yeah.
we was on now.
Ooh, child. But yep, I'm sure sorry. I'm glad I ain't show
No,
mine.
it is what it is. Because I'm gonna be quite honest with it. After I had my son and going through the motions of being around my son, even if it was a situation where I couldn't be around my son, um, what I would never do is be in a situation where um, my son feels like, or when he gets old enough, he feels like that I didn't take care of him. And a lot of men, well, I won't even say that. A lot of individuals that were born male, um, they get into this mentality of only listening to a mother, and a mother is only going to do. They're only going to tell you stuff to coddle you. Um, I had the luxury of having an uncle that didn't coddle me and actually was like, as a man, you're gonna have to take these ins and outs, you're gonna have to take these ups and downs, and this is what you have to do as a man. And if you only are able to do this, then make sure you are able to do this to the full capacity of yourself. And That's how I look at things. It would never be one of those situations where I would ever downplay a woman that talks about child support, especially if someone is not paying it and not being around their children.
And that's the part that get left out. You know what I mean? But it is what it
Yeah,
is. Like
yeah, it is.
women aren't tripping off of
Because
that no
people,
more. Like that shit is trash. It's garbage. Like you
I,
not helping or whatever it is people call themselves not doing in these situations or just being a bitch like Offset was. I'm sorry, I still think he was. Um, you ain't doing nothing but making it better for me. You making my life better because God see you on being a loser and he's helping me more with your child. Now he didn't help me to where I got a man and you jealous because of XYZ. All that shit was fugazi. That man was jealous because that girl moved on. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And it was an upgrade. That's just it. And that sound he was being bitter. And it's not I'm finally seeing though now though, like a lot of people are like, no, I'm tired of playing like I know you've heard some of your friends because you're a man. I don't know too many men that don't mess with their kids. I'm gonna just be honest.
I don't
So
either. I don't need just to keep it 100. Even the guy that we're talking about, he never was that around me. I've never seen that.
well, anyway, that person don't do it, but they'll spin it and make it look like it's the mother. But since you would know both sides of the situation,
Yeah, yeah.
but that's how they do, and people believe it. They be like, "Ah, well, she probably is doing that." What? Instead of making this person take accountability, they don't do that. But now I'm starting to see a lot more people, and this men on TikTok like saying that, like, "Man, I'm not about to be around you, bro, if you don't take care of your kids." Like that's weird. You know what I mean? Like, but people still be doing it and
And
coming up.
and I, to be quite honest, just to keep it a beam, like you 100% right. I don't want to be around nobody that doesn't take care of their kids. You know what I'm saying? Even a person that we speak about. I grew up with this man, so I know this man. Um, we haven't conversed, and it has nothing to do with you, but we haven't conversed in well over at least 3-4 years. Um, and that's and a part. And one of those things is, um, and not like bigging up myself or anything, but me as a man and taking care of children, I had to take care of. I literally had to take care of a child in the NICU. I don't think that was a thing that a lot of the people that I grew up with could understand because they didn't have to go through that. So a lot of, and I'm not saying they just cut me off, but a lot of the men that they didn't understand what I was going through, so they couldn't be there for me.
Mhm.
As I've gotten, you know what I'm saying, as I've gotten older through the years, and then I've had another child. Um, I haven't seen him around. So the things that you say, I would never say this is not true, like because he's not been around me to even be that kind, to even give me God. I grew up watching him with children. But he's never seen me as a man being with kids. So you know what I'm saying? I think it's a counter contrast for real. And I'll just say it like that because I'm not gonna downplay him on anything on because of what I've seen growing up. I didn't see that, but what you're saying, I would never deny and say that's a lie because I don't. I wasn't around it, but I'm never gonna downplay your experience.
Mhm. But who gives a fuck? What's the topic?
Yeah, I mean,
Like he's dust.
I just want to be politically correct and put that out there.
No, I'm serious because like
That's it.
he's dust. He's dust. He means nothing. My son goes to the beach every other year, every 2 years, every year. No, he has a passport. We not, you know what I mean? Nothing. No, that monkey ain't stopping no show. Not one. Thank glory be to God too first. But yeah, no. It's not
I
No.
even that
respect
deep.
that.
I didn't be
I
honest
respect.
with you. I didn't realize we was live. I thought this was not live because I wouldn't have said none of that. But yeah, no, I don't. Mm-mm. I don't feel no certain type of way. I don't think you. I mean, I think you just was looking at it from your perspective, and I was looking at it from mine, and it was funny to me because I still, like I said, I think I was right. But what's the topic, honey?
Yeah, we can talk about the topics because
Right.
you know what? To end that, you were right on your level, and I was right on mine. So we,
Yeah.
and I 100% like because I wouldn't put it in the category of a fuck nigga. I was putting it in a category of a nigga that took care of their kids. So you
But
were
see,
right,
I was trying to
and
tell you I
and I was
was a fuck nigga, and he was on some fuck shit, but you wasn't trying to hear me, and he was. You know what I mean? Like,
you right. You right.
Yeah.
You are 100% right, Bree. But I just wanted to rectify that because I seen a lot of those posts and they was acting they were saying like look how he talked to women and why. I'm like that ain't what it was like, and I ain't know what I'm saying. We were having a conversation, however way they wanted to look at it. We wasn't pegging it as me and you are arguing. Like a
Yeah.
couple of times I said like if you see the whole thing, then it, you know what I'm saying. But when you clip it, it just it hits different.
Yeah.
Especially with somebody that's I know what I'm saying that's been in a situation with a fuck nigga. It hits different.
Right. And it also hits different when that's your first time viewing us as a whole. You know what I'm saying? Which is the point of the clips, they're provocative, they get the people going, But
Yeah.
yeah, but those types of conversations,
that's what the podcast
hit.
is for.
Yeah, that's what the podcast is for, and it hits personal with a lot of people because a lot of people in those comments for that clip, yeah, you can definitely tell that they've been through something, and then not to be funny, but lately when you talk, sometimes if they don't know you, it will be a bit off-putting, which ain't a bad thing because that's you. And cause I think me and Bree talked about that years ago. Like we don't take like we don't get offended. It's weird when you know what I'm saying, because you say bitch, and
Yeah.
I don't think nothing twice about it.
Me
You know what
either,
I'm
because I
saying?
know you're not talking to me, one, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. I
Yeah.
don't know.
But if somebody who has never encountered you watch a clip and watch you calling women bitches, they gonna be like, oh hell no. You know what I'm saying? They gonna get to
Yeah.
typing in them comments and stuff. So I think that was probably part of it too. But
What?
but that's you and that's fine. And that's the reason why we like, okay, well, watch the show. You know what I'm saying? If you feel some type of way, go watch the show and see what the full conversation was about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And to know you is to love you, So
I appreciate that. I really
yeah.
do appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why I've never said anything about, like, I've said things like that are blatantly offensive. Like, okay, we need to dial that back.
Right.
But yeah, like when you be popping your shit, I don't feel no ways about it because I know it's not coming from an offensive place. Like, you know. So, but like I said, if your first time watching it and you see this clip and yeah.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
throw people off. And to be
Mhm.
quite fair, shout out to Jody Breeze. I've been saying this ever since I was like 19 years old. The reason why I call you bitches because I don't know y'all in general. If I know you, then if I know you and if you a bitch, then you a bitch. But if I know you and you not a bitch, then I'm never gonna call you a bitch again.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
different. That's provocative, like you said, Lindsay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the truth.
Okay. But yeah, no, I
It's the
didn't.
truth.
I don't feel no type of way. I didn't feel disrespected or any of that.
Mhm.
You was really trying to slang your point.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's what
But
it was
that was a fuck boy
miscommunication
episode
into
too.
that.
Like tensions was already high because of Brian McKnight's ass. You know what I mean?
You know,
Like
True. True. True.
that is very true. That is
Yep.
very
And
true.
then we went on to DDG
like
and
it was just
Haley and
yeah, it
yeah.
was fuck boy day that day. That's all.
It
And
was an
they
onslaught of fuckboy day, and I think that was maybe
and
my man was like because I don't agree to none of them. The three niggas we was talking about, I don't agree to none of that.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a bit much. Like, yeah, we stacked it up that day.
Yeah,
But
that was levels of scum, as Stevie J would say. That's levels of
it was
scum. That
level.
was levels right there. Like boom, boom, boom. It was just getting worse, worse, and worse. Like,
Right,
what's
right.
happening?
It's so
Yeah.
many
What's
of
too
it's so
much?
many of us good guys. Just to be quite honest, it's so many of us good guys um, that get shot down. Um, Not only because of
Is
how
that
we
the
run our
cat?
household, but also how they think that the women that we choose are pick me's because of how we are. And no, it's not my woman off the flip ain't a pick me. The things I have to do to make sure that my woman is good, you would never say that, but it's the thing. It's just how society is now. Um, when I say certain things, certain people look at it as toxic masculinity. It's just like, no, this is just me being a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right. So 50 minutes in, let's get into these
Yeah, let's
topics.
get to the topic. We gotta knock this off. Let's do it.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about St. Louis for a little bit. St. Louis has a bar called Crafted STL. And there was a clip of a young lady that was in the bar going viral because she encountered a waitress, and there was something going on to where she was having a interaction with the waitress, and the waitress, like, she was talking normal, and the waitress told her, well, you don't have to be a bitch about it.
Yeah.
And so she was like, wait, what did you just say that to me? You realize I'm recording, right? Go get your manager.
Mm.
um and then, this clip went viral. People started doing what they do, finding out where the place is, went online, put horrible reviews on, which were justified because this clip was like, what? Excuse me, ma'am. So the owner got online and pretty much made herself the victim, gave not even a half-ass but a quarter-ass apology, and turned it around because people were attacking her business, her woman owned business, you know, um her small business owner business.
Mhm.
And yeah, but not even addressing the fact that your waitress was 100% wrong, and not even saying what you did to reprimand that waitress. So we don't know. I believe the waitress still got her job, but we don't know what she did at all, if she did anything at all to that waitress, because that was 100% out of line. The lady wasn't even being loud or belligerent. Like I said, she was talking normal to her. But to give full transparency, the woman was black, the waitress was white, the owner is white. So it does not matter how calm, because I know this firsthand, it does not matter how calm, it does not matter how inviting we look. If we're saying something that they don't like, we're mean, aggressive, and the angry black woman. So of course that lady was like, oh, well, you don't have to be a bitch about it. Um, yeah, and she wasn't like I said, she wasn't being a bitch. She was being normal, you know. But let that have been a white woman, she could have cussed everybody out from here to the end of time. She never would have cussed at that lady. So,
Yeah.
but yeah. What are you guys' thoughts? Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. I definitely blacks. I didn't realize for years that if you disagree with them, you're the angry black woman.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of our phones didn't have cameras. And then eventually they did start getting cameras on them, but it wasn't a big deal to record like it is now. So that's why I'm glad that that's available, because I think it's just a conditioned in black women to record when we have a disagreement with a company or um anything, any type of commerce, any type of back and forth bartering, anything like that. It's normal for people, period, to record. So I'm glad she got it recorded, because if she didn't, they could have spent it around like she was the angry black woman. We would have knew she wasn't, but that video made it to where everybody seen that that wasn't it. You know what I mean? I think I don't know. I think I'm just over it. Like, I have white exhaustion. It's just enough. Like,
I'm sorry. But that's a thing. That's a real thing.
yeah, like I'm tired. Like I'm so tired. Y'all don't exist. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't had to do that. Like, it's just too much. Y'all doing too much, and it's just strange. Like, just stop it. Get a hold of yourself. Compose yourself. Like,
Yeah.
yes, it's just constantly that lady that said when you're black, you're never really lonely. It's always a white person up in your business. She should have copyrighted that. She should
I
have
never
copyrighted
heard
that. She would be rich. That's the truth. We can't exist. It's just so much animosity towards us. It's just sad. It's like we can't do nothing. Then, like you said, when we disagree,
It's a
that's when
problem.
they turn into Karens and get to tripping. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't doing that. You know what I mean? So
I know
thank God
firsthand.
for cameras. That's fine.
I know firsthand. Like, it's crazy because, like, you can be extremely calm. You can be the one not complaining, and you'll get told, "Calm down." What? What am I? I'm
Right.
not.
Yeah.
And that's what will make you, get elevated, because what are you talking about? I'm calm. But now you're not calm because you just got told to calm down. So, like, I'm tired. Lily, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts is this. That young lady, she kept a lot of composure. Because everybody want to talk about how black women are loud and black women are this and black women are that. Black women want to, shake the table in my K. Michelle voice. To be called a bitch in a public situation, for her to still handle it the way she handled it, I want to give her 100% kudos. At the same time, I want to say this. The owner just flat out I want to be professional with this, but just flat out say you don't give a fuck about what happened that night. Instead of going on this long fucking rant about nothing. You know what have made America feel better if you would have just been like, hey, I apologize for what happened. That person got reprimanded. I ain't even saying you got to fire the bitch. What I'm saying is she got reprimanded. She got suspended. We moving on. That's not the quality of business that I want to have. And then move on from there. For you to go on this long ass round thing, that shit was like what, fucking 12 minutes?
I don't know, because I didn't watch the whole thing. Fuck her.
It was just a long bullshit conversation. And it's the whole the range mental of you are trying to be so coercive to make this black woman look like she was wrong. That black woman wasn't wrong about a goddamn thing. I will say this. You know what she was wrong about? That she didn't go on top of that bitch head when she turned her camera off. Like, and that's just me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying she's supposed to do it. That's just my opinion. It shouldn't be no way you go through this whole rigmarole of they're trying to ruin my business. Why. If you know what's going on, you need to go ahead and be out there and just tell the truth. Hey, man, I don't agree with that shit. She's suspended. We're doing this. We're trying to be better, and I apologize for her. Not only do I apologize for her, every time she comes in, for the next 5 times she comes in, it's free. We're going to give you top service every time. Do it like that. Be a better business owner and be a better person.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not never gonna condone bullshit. If you caught my worker on camera calling you a bitch, you caught that.
Yeah.
If I don't check that, then I'm wrong. That's when I was in the comments. I asked, I was like, was she drinking before she got on? Because like that was just long strung for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, bitch, you ain't gotta keep talking. You gotta wrap this shit up, B.
Right.
My voice. Wrap this shit up, B. Like, no.
Right. Or like she didn't even have to like make a video. She could have just let that shit ride. Because the way that the cycle is with stuff going viral and stuff like that, it's like 2-3 days tops. You know what I'm saying? You made it fucking worse because I didn't even know about this shit until that video from the owner came out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You made that shit worse.
And you got this long drawn statement
about
everything in a nutshell instead of what the fuck everybody is talking about.
Yeah.
They're trying to, as a black, listen, and I'm not downplaying no woman or no small business when I say this, but business is motherfucking business. And you know what business does? If it's something hindering it, they go ahead and just cut their fucking ties. Cut your fucking ties with that. Like, what you would have got an onslaught of business in. I don't give a fuck if that lady that was in the video or the voice of the lady in the video was your daughter. You could say, "Oh no, she's fired. I'm sorry, y'all," and like let's keep it moving.
Yeah.
Next week, first drinks on me. Like you gotta, if you gonna get on there and say something, you gotta do something to save your fucking business.
Yeah. Yeah. And that bullshit ass video got me definitely being like, and I'm in St. Louis often, but it got me being like, fuck that place. And everybody I know, if you can hear my voice, fuck that place. Don't ever patronize that place. Because that's some bullshit. No, we got to go where we're respected, not where we're tolerated. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And our money spent just like everybody else. And we spend a lot of it in places like that.
And this is where you know identification is key.
Yeah.
Because for me, when I was looking at that, the longer and longer she talked, the more and more I knew that she don't give a fuck about black people coming to her business anyway. She was just worried about her business being shut down.
Right. Right. That's it.
And that's
like if she could pick, she wouldn't have another black person in that motherfucker. Well, you picked. You know, you ain't gotta worry about none of us.
Yeah. I'm just like, that's some bullshit. Like, to be quite fair, crafted St. Louis. However y'all run y'all business or conduct y'all business, if y'all continue to have that person there, then that person feels like they have no boundaries, and they're gonna end up saying the wrong shit to the wrong person, and they ain't gonna be as nice as that young black lady was.
Right.
Being 100.
Right.
If she doesn't have anything, if she doesn't have no repercussions happen to this at a job, oh man, she's gonna talk to people crazy.
Right. Right.
It ain't gonna happen now, but it's gonna end up eventually blowing over. Because I mean, it's a bar. So first of all, nobody gets paid great at a bar. So she's gonna go through them rigmaroles where bills is gonna pile up, shit gonna happen with her, and she gonna say something wrong, and she gonna say something wrong to the wrong person. I can guarantee you, if Jasmine was in that video and that happened, Jasmine would have been like, "Oh, who the fuck are you talking to?" Like it would have been a whole nother situation.
It would have turned left if somebody would have said that to me. Like I could have not said one cuss word until I got called a bitch. Then every other word would have been a cuss word. Because who are you talking to? Just straight up and down. Let me stand up. Let me stand up so I can really try to understand who the fuck you're talking to.
Yeah, you would have heard me sound in the background. You'd have heard me sounding like a 90s OG nigga in one of those Menace to Society movies. Wait a minute, OG. Wait a minute, young gun. Don't make that decision.
Right.
I already know how it would have popped off.
Yeah. It would have been a mess. It would have been a hot ass mess. So you got the right one. You got the right one to get that shit off. You definitely did. But hey, we'll see what happened. I mean, not that I have psychic abilities, but I don't foresee it being open that much longer unless MAGA shows up. Hey, we are in Missouri.
No, I do think it's gonna stay open. I just do think it's a lesson learned. And if she wants to continue business, then it's gonna be one of those things where, yeah, you're gonna have to rectify that shit right then and there. It can't be something that they think it's going to be something that continues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, shout out to that lady that got called a bitch. Like, it wasn't deserved. So
it wasn't.
Shout out to her. So, next up, so there's a baseball player that plays for the Diamondbacks. His name is Ketel Marte.
Mm-hmm.
He was playing. He was on the field, and somebody heckled him, which is normal in baseball, unfortunately. However, this person went way too far with the heckles. And I just found out last night what he said, because they weren't trying to say what he said initially. He said, "I texted your mom last night."
Man.
Now, why this hits so personal is because Mr. Marte's mom passed away from a car wreck in 2017. And on top of that, they were playing Chicago at the time, and they were playing Chicago when he found out.
Man.
So when this person said this to Mr. Marte, it obviously took his head out the game, but it hit on a whole nother level, and he started crying. His team manager and the other teammates and stuff noticed that it was a problem, and they went to console him on the field. Then it came out what exactly happened. And of course, he didn't do any press right when it happened, but the team manager did and whatnot. And, rightfully so, he was a bit emotional. And his interview in regards to the situation, because he's like, at the end of the day, we're a family. And saying something like that to a person that's lost their mom, no matter when it happened, no matter how it happened, but just the fact that it happened in a car wreck. He was here in the States. He's from the Dominican Republic. His mom was in the Dominican Republic when unfortunately she lost her life. But it just hits that much more because it happened, like, he found out in Chicago, Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't a good thing to say. They ended up injecting the guy that said it, and they banned him from coming back to that field. Now, later on, the MLB banned him from coming to any game ever again in life. So,
fuck that guy.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said before, unfortunately, it is normal to heckle in a baseball game, but you got to know when too far is too far. And I feel like the MLB did the right thing, but people are asking for them to do more, and it's like, what more can the MLB do? Because ain't like it's illegal, maybe they could, ban heckling altogether. I don't know.
They can't ban heckling altogether. It's no way.
Right, exactly. That's what I'm saying. People are calling for more, but it's like, what more can you do?
Yeah, he can't go up in any criminal charges or anything. So, and I'm glad you said that, and because I want to break this down in that situation because I was upset about it when it happened. But we have to get into this. You know, fan being a fan automatically means that, fan is based off being fanatic. You're crazy. You're gonna say some crazy shit. But I do love that the MLB said, "Hey, boom, I understand that you get crazy for your team, but we gotta put a halt on what the fuck you actually saying to these players." Because keeping it real, when I seen this situation, I was like, boy, if I was a dude on the bench, I was just a bench rider. Oh nah, and I would have seen my man crying like that. I would have beat the dog shit out that dude. Like, and not on no extra, not being on anything, but you have to. I understand what it is to be a part of a team, so I understand what it is to be a part of a family. We're all family. Our mamas, our dads, all of us are connected. And to watch him cry like that, oh man, like my thing was I was upset that wasn't nobody as upset as me. Because I would have bust that nigga upside the head, like real, because I know my man can't do it right now. My man upset. My man still going through this. I don't give a fuck if it was 10 years ago. Don't nobody want to lose their mama.
Right.
Let's just keep it a bean. My grandmother has passed when I was in the 10th grade. My mama still cries over this shit. I'm 42 years old. I'm not going to let nothing like that ride. I'm just not. I wouldn't know what to do if I lost my mama. Just keep them 100. If somebody called me tomorrow and told me something, it would take a long time for me to even come back and talk to y'all in real conversation. Because that's literally your lifeline. You came if you came out of your mama's womb, you came out of your mama's uterus. All you know is your mom. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. Your mother is a key factor. Your father is as well, but your mother is a key factor because you literally had to grow from her. Man, nah. To watch my man cry like that, I was like, why ain't nobody? Man, this would have been Indiana all over again. Me and my niggas would have jumped in the crowd and started hooking the shit out of niggas.
Yeah. And that's the thing, because once you start taking it into your own hands, now you're the villain. And that's not fair. That's not fair.
No, and then you don't want this nigga to be able to sue you either. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and then there's that.
Go ahead and sue me, dog. I mean, and not being on no extra, because I don't want to make nobody a crash out. But go ahead and sue me, dog. And the only reason why I say that is because it is certain thing. It is certain thresholds that every man has. One of my thresholds is you can't call me a certain name. Like, as much as I use the word bitch, because I use it quite fluently. If you call me a bitch, the first thing in my mind is if you see a bitch, hit a bitch. So I know if it was a situation for me, if I'm there and I'm like, you gonna talk about this man mama like that, like I got a text from him, I like disrespectful, and my man starts crying because this is what I think. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing this off pure aggression.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I think. This man is thinking about his livelihood. He's thinking about the people that he take care of. He thinks about everything in a nutshell, right then and there. I'm a bench warmer. I ain't got it. And I'm not saying nobody should do this. Now, I'm not saying that that's what they should have done when I say this. What I'm saying is I just know me. If I know I ain't even gonna get a chance to play out there, all I'm doing is I'm a part of the lineup. I can go back down to AAA and get paid the same amount of money. But what I'm not gonna do is let you disrespect my teammate. I'm not gonna let you disrespect my family. Like, he's broke down because he can't do anything. Because if he does anything, it's gonna ruin his livelihood. I'm gonna go back down to AAA and I'm gonna still get paid the same amount of money I've been getting paid, and I'm gonna knock your fucking tooth out your mouth. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm not saying that that's what they should have done, but I looking at the what it was, especially with how we look at it on certain aspects of how he was really like he just totally took him out the game and he was distraught. I would have felt that for my man. I would have felt that like hard. Like I would have been like, nah, like, this is one of the best players I got, and you threw him off his game by saying that. And I know I ain't even never gonna get out there. I'm just filling the roster.
Yeah,
I'm about to beat the dog shit out of you, my nigga. Like I'm gonna be famous by doing that.
right.
Yeah, he was wrong for that. I mean, now I feel like other people are gonna be trying to do that, like go super below the belt to try to knock them off their game, because that's just the type of time some people be on when they be super weird, like this person was. But to see him crying like that was sad, because that was it.
Yeah,
That did it. You know what I mean?
Early. That's early, man. I'm talking about that ain't that long ago.
yeah.
That for him, that just happened. That wound is still fresh.
And he probably relives it every time he go to Chicago, you know?
Yeah.
You just never know people's mental state.
No, you don't. And apparently, you know, his wasn't, you know, like some people might be like, oh, I thought he wasn't tripping off of that no more. It was in 2017. Apparently not.
Man, you lose your mama, man. Every year is gonna be hard for you.
It's just weird. It's weird that the man did it, you know, but.
Yeah. Like, why would you think that was appropriate? Like, you wouldn't want nobody to heckle you about your dead mom. So why would you think it's okay for you to do it to somebody else?
I'm talking about if it was me, I would have got up out of there. I'd have looked in the stands. I would have seen where he was at, and I would have told him, "Hey, man, I gotta go take a piss." I walked around, got into the crowd, scooted myself over there because they would have been like, "Oh, yeah, celebrity," and I would have hit that nigga dead in the motherfucking mouth.
Man,
like,
just
say that shit right now when you trying to hold your teeth in.
Right.
Like, man, you can say anything. Like, I don't mind hecklers. Like, keep it 100. I don't mind hecklers. If that's just one of those things. Hecklers are if you having a bad game or if they don't like you and you ain't shit and they want to talk about whatever, but you don't bring up that man's dead mama. Are you out of your rabbit ass mind?
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's why.
I'm gonna take Bree's section on this and say this is why men are weird. Like, why the fuck would you do weird ass shit like that?
Yeah, like seriously. Like it really doesn't make any sense why you would think that was appropriate.
But it was good to see them coaches was like, get him out of here. They was pissed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, they came together on that, and you know, I appreciate that as well. You know.
And the dude's just sitting there like, what did I do? Like, what? You know, like, now you can't go to no game. But they not gonna be able to. Somebody would have to be like, he's in here on Twitter for them to see. They not gonna check him like that. He probably won't be able to purchase no tickets to a Major League Baseball event, but he's definitely gonna still go.
And you know, some people were in the comments like, how can you really prevent that? Because it ain't like they checking IDs. And then some people was like, well, they do face recognition. I think that I don't even think the face recognition shit. I think that they're gonna do it like how when you write your name off of the casino Like if you get caught, like, so if you come in, you're gonna have to wear a cap, put your head down, don't say shit, don't talk to nobody, don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
He can't do nothing.
Yeah, but if you get caught, then you'll get kicked out. You know what I'm saying? So just don't go, because you never know when you'll get caught. Like if somebody walk past you and recognize you and tell somebody like, ain't that the motherfucker that's supposed to be banned, and they come get you. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it just ain't worth it. It just ain't worth it. Just, you know what? Go to basketball.
So let me I will say this, because I've been banned from places before, and I've frequented them places still to this day, even being banned. But let me tell you how stadiums work. I don't know what type of surveillance do they use, but I will say this as a person that experienced this, their face recognition is something that is what I would call top tier. This is why I don't do crime anymore, because I know if stadium do this, I know this is how the real world works. I've been in the line waiting to pass my ticket off, and I've watched security walk to not the person directly in front of me, but the person like a couple of people in front of me. Security went right to him and say, "Hey, you ain't supposed to be here, bucko." And he's like, "I paid for a ticket." "Oh, no. You're banned." You're banned, my nigga. Like, ain't no hat gonna save him.
Okay.
Ain't no hat gonna save him.
Yeah.
I've seen it in real time.
Well, there you have it. It's a wrap.
Yeah, because everybody want to talk about the long waiting line. You know why it's a long waiting line before they do? Because they scan everybody's motherfucking face.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So then they do the face recognition.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think the last time I was at the Royals was probably like about 2-3 years ago. So I don't know. Maybe I didn't pay attention, because shit, I can go. Like,
you sitting there waiting on them, they like, "Come on, man! Y'all said this shit open up at 1:30. It's 1:45. Why we ain't walking around?" Because they scan everybody motherfucking face.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it. You know, you tell your draws with that one.
Fuck them.
Yeah, fuck them.
And we look like
get you the fuck up out of here.
Because you had good seats.
Yeah, for you to be that close to Heckle and for him to hear that shit, yeah, you had good seats. You was a fan. So, like I said, go to football. You know, they can't hear you at all, no matter how close you are, because that shit's loud as hell. So, yeah. But anyway, moving on. So, Jim Jones. Jim Jones has been trolling his ass off. With Nas. He's been going on these podcasts, you know, talking about Nas and saying that he could, in today's age, he could possibly out-rap him, and that he ain't, like, currently he ain't rapping to the full capacity that he is known to rap at. And he's not saying that he can't do it. He's just saying that he ain't doing it.
He just won a Grammy for a couple of years ago for God's Disease, so that's a lot.
I mean, we all know this, but doesn't stop Jim Jones from talking shit. He's been on, like I said, he's been on several podcasts talking this. He's even went on a sports podcast talking about this. And Shannon Sharp, he went on what is that one called? Nightcap with Shannon Sharp and Ocho.
Yep.
And he got into a back and forth with Shannon Sharp about this, you know. Then he tried to bring up like their Billboard entries and stuff, and he was, you know, completely wrong with that. But
100%.
But yeah, but you know, it's not stopping him from being a troll. And I don't know what he's trying to get out of this. Like, is he trying to do a versus? Like, is he trying to do a rap beef? Um, yeah, like I don't understand what he wants out of this, man.
He's not doing nothing but trying to get money.
And then he went on another podcast and he said that this is the most that people has talked about Nas lately. You know, and
it's irrelevant.
I don't know what the end game is for Jim Jones, because I mean we joke and laugh and shit like that about Jim Jones as far as his career is concerned, because you know, over the past 10-15 years we've been knowing him as a reality star. So, but to be clear, all jokes aside, Jim Jones was that guy at one point in time.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he ushered in a whole swag for a generation of people.
Yes,
like
sir.
The way that he dressed, you could see a lot of men trying to dress like him. So he definitely entered in a swag for folks. And you know, Harlem, A Love Story was the shit. That album was the shit. I love that album. I played the hell out of that. But we're not going to deny Nas's pen. We're not. This is like a non-conversation, because it's like, what are we talking about here?
Exactly.
But nonetheless, Jim Jones has been trending off of this bullshit that he's been pulling. So here we are. Who wants to talk about it first?
Well, I've seen where he said he did that to his streams.
And it's worked. It's worked, because a lot of people are like, okay, well, what other song did Jim Jones got besides Ballin'? And then they pull it up and they see a lot of songs. So
yeah.
I just seen it on like the Shade Room or something this morning. So yeah. I think that's what he did, and that's what he did. Now that I've seen that, it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I know he's not even better than Cameron.
Keeping it, that's a total 100.
Well, shit. I mean, me personally, I think Joel's is better than Cameron.
I mean, we're not going to argue about that either.
I like Cam. I don't think so. Cam is the leader of the group. I could see that.
Cam is the leader, but to be honest, my favorite is Jim Jones.
And then don't get me wrong, I like Jimmy. He was my favorite, but niggas, stop. I think he did what he did so he can get streams in. That was smart.
It worked.
You know.
Well, there you have it.
So I will put in my 2 cents, and I will say this, especially for everybody that's listening to us. If you know me from the town, you know I am a lyricist connoisseur. Jim Jones dived off a building with this bullshit. I get that, yes, relevant for the time. Jim Jones has more views than Nas. Let's not deny that. Let's just keep it a bean and just keep it 100. But you know why? It's because Jim Jones is a 48-year-old man that doesn't want to fucking grow up. Nas is a man he turned himself from a lyricist where it was all about the music to a business fucking mogul. Everybody wants to talk about Jay-Z, and I get it. Nas learned the page from Jay-Z because he had to be under him at one point, and he was like, you know what? I can't do that. I have to be my own man. And he turned himself to his own man and his own business. Nas is more relevant when it comes to life than Jim Jones will ever fucking be, because Jim Jones doesn't want to fucking grow up. Jim Jones thinks that I still want to be on the block. Anybody who's grew up like I grew up understands at one point you got to be beyond the block. One of my biggest statements that I say, even on my brand, is bigger than the block. Get the fuck away from Harlem, Jim. What the fuck are we doing? This shit is trolling at its finest, and you are too old to be on this type of time. Sorry. How anybody looks at it, I couldn't wait to even talk about this because it's like, Jim, I get it. And you are a Nas fan, and I know you're a Nas fan. Everything that you honed off your pen was from everybody that you've seen around you. Because you have to understand that Jim Jones is only probably 3 or 4 years younger than Nas. Everything that you learned was from everybody around you. Nigga, don't act like that. Nigga, you being too tough when you don't have to be. Now, we can talk about streams and we can talk about relevancy right now, but that's because the interwebs are active. You have to understand that Nas built his wealth when the internet was not active, my nigga. Let's just keep it. Anybody can be a millionaire right now. Somebody watches this and posts us 1,000,000 times, all of a sudden we're going to get a check. Let's just keep it a beam. Let's just keep it 100 right there. Nas did that shit on his own back. So how the fuck are you going to say he's not relevant when you wanted to be that nigga? Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying that Jim Jones is not relevant. What I'm saying is Jim Jones is the reason why our grandfathers and OGs feel like they ain't young, or they still young, because this type of rhetoric right here. Stop. Know what your age is, know what you're supposed to do, and respect everybody in your category. If not, you're gonna be a fucking troll. You're a fucking troll, and why would you be a troll when you want to be on the elite? It is levels to this shit, and you're showing us that you're never going to ever be on Nas level. Because the funny part about it is you want to talk about Nas rapping right now, even though he just won a Grammy a couple of years ago, and you haven't won shit. You didn't even win a versus battle. But you want to talk about that, but then you want to, but at the same time, Nas is so poised. You know, he opened up a casino.
Did he? No, I didn't. I know that.
A casino. And said, you know what? I will fuck with this nigga with money. I fuck. That's the problem with a lot of these people. They want to. They think talk means more than assets. I just opened up a casino, my nigga, and Queens. So shut the fuck up, Mr. Harlem, because what you're not doing is doing what I did. I just not only did I open up, I just offered job opportunities for everybody that you are not gonna do. Not that you can't do it, not that you don't have the funds to do it. You too worried about what people say instead of what you do. I know it's going to be very coercive when I say this, but your mama told you this a long time ago. Do what I say, not what I do. Nas is saying, do what I say. Open up a goddamn casino to bring jobs and shit back to your neighborhood instead of talking about the poverty and the bullshit in your neighborhood. My nigga, all the shit you doing, Nas keep winning. Nas won already. He don't even have to say nothing to you. And all the bullshit you talking about, he won already.
Yeah.
You fucking Jomo. Cameron said a long time ago, man, come on, stop. You want to be in the streets so bad. Stop it. We grown now. And it's the truth.
Yeah.
We grown now. Stop. Figure it out. That shit is weird. and he's standing on that shit, and that's weird. And it's like, motherfuckers, you are only 3 to 4 years younger than Nas. If Nas wanted to pull up, I don't know what you would do with Nas security. You ain't got Nas security. I don't know what you would do with this nigga. Like, as much as you talking that shit, I don't know that nigga. We don't need to have a conversation. That nigga got real life CIA security. You wouldn't know what to do with this nigga. Let's just keep it a bean. You can talk that street shit all you want. 50 taught us a long time ago. When street shit comes around, that's what you got niggas for that. You got niggas for that. 50 showed us like there's a lot of street niggas didn't run up on him because that nigga got motherfuckers that'll jump through a window and shoot you in the face. You don't think Nas got that type of... Nas is worth $140 million.
I don't think Jimmy was trying to take it to the point where it got fisticuffy in the streets. I do think he was trolling now that he said it because he knows that he's not in comparison to Nas. Nas has won a couple of Grammys, not just one last year. So
I'm just saying because he talked about his relevancies. I'm like, nah, he just won a couple of years ago. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I think he knows that. I think he was just trolling to get streams because he knows, like I said, you ain't topped Cameron. So
right. It's like be the top in your group first before you venture out.
Before you even speak on anybody else, outdo Cam first. And
facts. That's facts, Brie.
Do go to war with everybody else, but you can't even outdo him. So just, I think that's when I hate to say that about Jimmy because I like his music and I like him, but I don't believe that he believed that in his head. He might just because people have to hype themselves up, but he knows we know better, and he seems like he has a full deck of cards he's working with. So I do think he was trolling us because keep it a buck, you ain't now did Fab. Ain't Fab from Harlem? Like,
listen, I ain't too many niggas gonna outdo Fab, Brie. I'm gonna keep it 100.
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like, ain't you older than Fab? Like, don't.
Yeah, he is. Fab our age.
Yeah. No, like just
and that's not saying because I don't want to do the age discrepancy, but what I'm saying is
I don't do that either. But like you, Jimmy from Harlem, stay in your lane, stay in your Jimmy lane. You know what I mean? Like you got a lane, Jimmy. You have a lane. Stay in that. Like people fool with you. They fool with your music. He just did the BET Awards. Everybody was standing up when he did Ballin'. And he did a good job. You know what I mean? Like, stay in your lane. You can go to a club, a couple of club dates, or a little bit of some coliseums in here and there, and you will get paid. It ain't like your rapping ain't keeping you eating. You eating. Just stay in your lane. You know what I mean?
Nobody's denying, and so that's the thing. Like for me, nobody's denying that. My thing is, why go for, I guess in all intents purposes, why go for a king, that literally doesn't bother you? Like, but he did that shit with Styles P too. Like, we're not really paying attention to the troll that he is in order to get his streams, and that's what's for me. That's what's just diminishing who actually Jim Jones is. Jim Jones, bro, you got good music. I would never deny that. Listen,
even his stuff now, even his new stuff.
Even your new album.
Yeah.
Your new album is some people say one of the best. I will say your new album is the best body of work you have ever done because it's growth.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'll say this: for you to jump off the porch like you did, lets me know that, know what I'm saying? That like, bro, your business tactics aren't at the level of the people that you're going after. You went after Styles P. Styles P quickly shut it down. And I love that the internet said it like, nigga, Jim Jones, shut the fuck up. Lyrically, you can't do shit with a Styles P. Like, I'm so glad the internet said that shit. I just don't understand why. I guess because Nas is a bigger name. Like we're having this argument, but at the same time, Styles P know he can't do shit with Nas.
I think the Nas one hit home because we know, if we don't know Nas for nothing else, we know Nas to be a lyricist, top tier lyricist that don't like. The only person that really went up against him that people thought would be a good fight lost badly.
Lost.
Like, you know, so
terribly lost. I'm talking about
lost
terribly
badly.
train wreck shit.
Yeah, like they end up turning a noun into an adjective because of Nas. You know what I'm saying? So, and we still talk about this to this day. That shit happened 24 years ago. Like, so I feel like that's probably the reason why he was like, he's a good person to troll. Because don't nobody talk about
alert. Excuse me, that he said Jim Jones claimed Nas this was a marketing boost to boost your streams. He said, if you 40 and up arguing with me about Nas, y'all already lost. Y'all fell for the bait. My streams go up every time I go viral. I'm teaching older artists a new lesson in marketing. In the caption, he doubled down. I said what I said. I will wrap circles around any artist from my ear. Bring this money game ain't free. My new handle is AB, not Antonio Brown, more like algorithm bender.
So,
but then that's another thing because Nas
this.
ain't even from his generation.
That's what I was about to say. I'll give him this. In your generation, and your genre, what you have now is you have everybody in your clique. You got the locks, and that's it. And just to keep it 100, you not never gonna wrap circles around Jadakiss. You are never wrapping circles around Styles P at all. Like, I don't understand why that was. Why that was even in conversation. And Sheik Luch, I get his mixtapes every time they come out. This motherfucker is a monster. That's a big ass dude in real life, and he's a monster. Once we get into other categories, you don't even rock with Cameron, and you don't even want to rock with Cameron because you know what Cameron does? He gives you a freestyle every fucking week. This nigga still got it. Mace still got it. Santana, I haven't seen anything out of Santana, so maybe you got Santana. So I got one out of all of the niggas you just said in your list. Because those are the niggas in your spot. Nobody else. You want to talk about Fab? If we bring up Fab, we're not even Fab was stayed underground. So if what Jim stayed underground too. So let's say this. As far as the body of music, you couldn't handle anything that Fabulous had to bring you. Fabulous is a fucking coffin bearer. If you don't understand who Fabulous is, you don't listen to rap. Now, I get all the Fabulous mixtapes and all the Fabulous and Jadakiss mixtapes. These niggas will body you on a Sunday. And that's not downplaying Jim Jones. Jim Jones is a good rapper. No lie. But Jim Jones is not a lyricist. Let's just make this clear. Because I really want to make it clear with everybody. It's a difference between being a rapper and being a lyricist. Jim Jones is not a lyricist, and he knows that. Like, I don't understand why, but I get it because you want to be young. All of these young niggas nowadays, unless I'm missing a cue, most of these young niggas that are famous are not lyricists. They're rappers. Anybody can be a rapper. Let's just keep it 100. If a motherfucker put $1 million behind you and you have 2 or 3 people behind you that'll help you write a song, you can be a fucking rapper. In order to be a lyricist, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. We have given our thoughts on what the fuck Jim Jones is doing lately. So yeah, so that's that. Go stream Jim Jones.
Yeah.
Go
Yeah.
streaming. Go streaming. He's a good rapper.
He's a
He's
good
a good,
rapper.
especially for his age. He's a great rapper for being his age. Lyrically, though, he's not a great lyricist. And you just heard it from me. And if this ever became famous, and like he came and said, "I don't listen to these underground motherfucking podcasts," bro, I am a technician. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You don't want to do that. I'm gonna troll. You think you trolling? I'm gonna troll you every fucking day.
Right. Be my favorite pastime. So yeah. So that's Jim Jones. Now, next story, as Lily can attest to, really pissed me off this week. So, I really have to stop saying when I listen to the playback, I'll be like, oh, it's just like nails on a chalkboard. So I get it. I'm gonna get better at it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Right.
So Target. So we have been boycotting Target. Just let me ask you guys, because I've been sticking to the boycott. Have you guys boycotted at all?
I would, and then I'm not gonna hold you. I'm gonna when I get out there, I'm going to Target.
Much respect, Brie. Much respect.
I don't now don't get me wrong. I don't go all the time. I'm only going because this little boy wants some type of Lego set up there. Other than that, that's the only reason why we really go in there and to get this one kind of ice cream. But it has been boycotted. Now Amazon, no.
Yeah, I like if you're gonna take Target from me, you got to give me Amazon. Like,
We can't
do both.
I fuck with Amazon, but I ain't fuck with Amazon in like a couple of years before the even ban was even there. So I'm like, cool. I'm an eBay nigga. Most people are scared of eBay. I am totally into eBay.
Well, fun fact: the first car I bought when I was 18, I bought it off of eBay. So I'm not that person that's scared of eBay. It's just I go to Amazon.
Yeah, cause you know me, cause I ain't saying that I'm the originator of this, but listen, before even Kanye put that verse together, I was on the internet. You niggas, these niggas don't buy nothing. I was buying shit off the internet a long time ago. I was fucking with eBay for a minute.
Yeah. And like when I would tell people that I got my car off of eBay, their mouths used to drop. Like, really? So yeah. But Lily, you've been on the Target ban?
I've been on the Target ban. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, the last time I was at Target, I went and I was looking for a certain product and they didn't have it. And so as soon as that happened, I was just like, oh, okay. I wasn't even knowing about anything of the ban, but then I went to another spot, got what I needed, got on YouTube, regular thing while I'm working out, and then seen that the ban was happening. I was like, oh, well, shit, I ain't fucking with them no way. And the crazy part about it is Target, where I work at, is literally, I literally can just run across the street and go to Target. Mm-hmm. That's how much I just was like, oh, no, I'm cool on them. I don't even go get toilet paper or none of that shit. I drive out the way.
Yeah. I mean, I really like Target. I even one year did some seasonal, like over the holidays, work with Target. So I was one of those people that really, really like Target. So but I have been sticking to the ban. So with us sticking to the ban or the boycott, the boycott has been effective. They have suffered a financial loss, not significant enough to change their ways or to meet the demands, but it has been shown that they have had a loss in revenue, right? So it has been effective. However, people that wasn't even a part of the conversation, did not even try to be a part of the conversation, has taken it upon themselves to cross the picket line. And that is the National Baptist Convention, that is the Kojic Church, and that is the Missionary Baptist Church. These three coalitions have crossed the picket line and has made a deal with Target for Target to donate to them $300,000. Not $300,000 a piece, but $300,000 total. So that is split up between 3 different denominations. And that's like $100,000 a piece. And they did like this big press conference, and they were talking about how they were going to use the money. Now with the rising cost and inflation, that money's not going to go far at all. So I don't know what the fuck they were thinking, but they weren't. That I should say, just say it like that. They weren't thinking. You couldn't have been possibly thinking, because $300,000 is not even a drop in the bucket for Target. That's condensation for Target. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's not anything, even with the financial loss that they have taken because of this boycott. It's not anything to them. And it reminds me of the whole Wells Fargo and the NAACP situation from a few years ago, when the NAACP took a donation from Wells Fargo after they were exposed for their negative ways and whatnot, in regards to advertising and what have you. And it's just it's some straight bullshit. It's some straight bullshit. And Roland Martin spoke out about it, went into great detail. He did like a video that's like an hour and a half long, where he basically cussed them out for doing this. And he cussed them out with facts. He cussed them out with facts. He cussed them out with math. He basically said that if you were to distribute, like, say for instance, the National Baptist Convention, if you were to distribute that $100,000, which is their third of the 300, and you were to distribute it to every Baptist church that's a part of the National Baptist Convention, that's like $3 and some change. What are you gonna do with $3 and some change? You can't even pay the tax on a utility bill. Like, what? So,
chips. Shit.
huh? What'd you say?
Gas station chips.
That's some what?
Gas station chips. You can buy some.
Oh, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And it's not even the big bag.
with your chest, Brie.
It's not even the big bag. Like, it's
no,
you know
it's not the big bag. It's the big bag that's bigger than the little bag.
right. It's the next step up.
So I did my research before you even go further. I did my research, and I one thing that I found out is if they cut this check, because a lot of people think they're gonna get that $100,000 because you can't tax a church, and that is true. You can't tax a church, but because of a business, this is when I told you they're a cheap lay. They're a cheap lay. These are $40 stuck in fuck, because they're gonna tax it before they even give it to them. So if you tax 300 and you split it 3 ways, all of these motherfuckers is getting $65,000 a piece. Because total, if you keep it 100, totally how it works out, Target has to pay tax on giving $300,000. They have to. So they're basically only giving them $65,000 a piece. And depending on their denominations, because Roland did say, with the 100, what they getting.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't even that. He was being generous because of just thinking about the 300. Me being me, I just know taxes. They have to tax Target. Target ain't gonna put that tax on top of the 300. They're gonna tax it and then give them 300 or the sum of after the 300.
Yeah, right, because Target gonna be Target.
Yeah,
They ain't that damn generous.
so they're all getting 65 grand a piece to
Mm-hmm.
act like they're gonna open up scholarships and things of that nature with that money.
Right, scholarships and then things for the elderly, and no, you're not. You're not.
Not with that.
No, absolutely not. You're gonna get a Lincoln Nautilus, and not even the Black Reserve.
You want to go to the store?
Like you're gonna get a Lincoln Nautilus, and I love the Lincoln Nautilus. I want one actually, but that's how I know. But yeah, you're not even gonna get an aviator. Like this is crazy. This is crazy, and also Pastor Jamal Bryant, who he wasn't the originator of the boycott, but he is a part of the boycott. He got on his pulpit and ripped them a new one as well, because this is some bullshit. Like we are still in the thick of the fight, because of the way that they're treating minorities in regards to this DEI program, and y'all just let them get the cheap way out of it, and now all is well because they gave you a couple of dollars, and this pales into comparison the initiative that they set out when they came up with this whole DEI initiative that they were going to put forth in their stores. You know what I'm saying? Like they pledged millions of dollars, billions of dollars, and y'all let them get away with 300,000 before taxes. What? Like it's crazy. But who wants to speak on this?
I'll let Bree go
On what?
on this Target thing.
I thought we were speaking on it.
I'm just saying. I was just let you go first.
Just let you have the floor.
I'm pretty stoned, so
We in the same boat, Bree.
yeah. So yeah, not gonna hold all the blacks. I have not been keeping my end up with a bargain. The bargain with the boycott, because I have a kid who like Legos, and the Legos be in there. They don't have them all at the Walmart, or it takes too long for him to wait for Amazon. So I have been going in there, but I will say I'd be glad that I be the only one in there sometimes. And then the last time I went in there, and I did say I wasn't going back, me and this black girl, we was doing a self-checkout, and it didn't work. The people had to come do it. And then they was like, well, there's something wrong with your card. I'm like, it's not. And so they had to ring it up too many times with the same card, and it finally went through. And the black girl's card did the same thing. And she said, we shouldn't have been in here in the first place. I said, you're right. So I did try to keep it boycotted from that from that time, but I'm about to try to go back in there today. And that's horrible. You know what I mean? Like, I feel bad about it. I'm one of the reasons why it ain't full percent no black dollars being spent there, because I'm still doing it. So don't pay it. Be better than me. Don't do what I'm doing. Be better than me.
I appreciate you saying that. I appreciate you saying that. What I will say is, even looking at this, I had to take a step back and I had to think about it. And I was like, dang, when Lindsay had texted me, and she had sent this to me, and she had said what she said. I was like, dang, you know what? Lindsay's 100% right. A lot of times, this is why a lot of us don't jump on the bandwagon of certain things, because all of us are not equally yoked to certain things. But at the same time, I will say this: it don't take all of us. We've been taught from a young age, all skin folk ain't kin folk. We've been taught that.
Yeah.
I'm off target, and I'm not. I grew up a Jehovah's Witness, so I'm never going to. And even though Jehovah's Witnesses are Christians, I will say this: I'm totally off of anybody trying to oppress Black folks. Not being disrespectful or not being or not saying anything at all. Like, I'm so pro-Black that if it's something that is if it's something that's a hindrance, then I'm not gonna fuck with it at all. I'm just not. And I think all of it. I ain't saying all of us, so let me take that back. But I'll say this: if it's one of those things where it is not something that is going to burden you at this time, because everybody's different. You know, I'm never gonna. You can't tell somebody that they not pro-Black just because at one time certain things are conveniences. But what I say, if it doesn't hinder you at this time, you need to jump on the same bandwagon, and then we need to make sure that we are making other things a convenience for everybody to be on the side that we need everybody to be on. Will that happen 100%? Hell no. But what I'm not going to do is downplay the breeze in the world for having to go because their son wants a toy out of Target that is only exclusively at Target. Am I going to shoot you down? Fuck no, I'm not going to shoot you down. But what I will say is, if you're going to always just spend your money at Target, then you're the fucking problem. You like everything that we're listening to, everything that we're going on with right now, all the things that everybody stood up for, regardless of religion or anything, this is a people. And I'm gonna make my mama mad when I say this, but I'm gonna say this 100%. We as a people need to start standing up for people, us. Everybody who's in the Black and brown hue. And when I say brown, I ain't talking about Mexicans. I don't even want y'all to even go there. I'm just saying we are very beautiful shades of Black. And that goes all the way from far baby Black all the way to mulatto. Like, if you don't stand up for, if we ain't standing up for each other, we can't stand for shit. And we see that. This has been something we've been watching since we've been growing in the world. We have seen when we don't stand up for each other, everything fucking crumbles. Until we start doing that, man, we're always going to go through this rigmarole of bullshit. Motherfuckers giving niggas pennies. And you know why they can give us pennies? I'm going to give y'all, everybody just listen to us on all the interwebs. I'm going to give y'all a whole scenario of why they're able to give us pennies. You know how they was able to give us get us on slave ships? It's because they were offering niggas liquor and white man's clothing. That's how they got it. Do your history on it. Read about it. That's how they was doing. They wasn't giving nobody money. They wasn't giving nobody land. They wasn't giving nobody gold. They wasn't doing none of that. What they were doing was offering their clothing and then their liquor. And niggas was putting niggas on boats. And we see that now. Fast forward. Bow. Now, a motherfucker can get $65,000 and he'll tell you that you gotta shoot for these white folk. Man, this some bullshit. This some real I hate to be that kind because I'll go out. I'll go off of the podcast and I'll just be on my militant, and I don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is, when we see this happening in real time, it takes the majority of us to really still stand up for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, we really need to stand up for it. Again, I'm not faulting anybody. Because we have to go with the diaspora and we got to go with real life. If it's something that you can only get in Target that you really actually need, okay, I understand that. But if you just fucking totally always be at Target, even though everything is going on, then you're a part of the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even the people that are going to Target because, hey, this is only there. Figure out where it's at somewhere else. Go to the interwebs. Interwebs are great. Go to the interwebs and figure it the fuck out. Really stand the band. The only way that we are ever going to stand for each other is if we actually stand for each other. Stop looking for convenience and start looking for empowerment. And then that's my TED Talk, and I'm done.
Well, thank you for that TED Talk. Yeah, it's just sad. It's sad the way that they sold out. It just really is sad the way they sold out.
They sold out because they not really a part of godly teachings. They're only in there for personal gain. You think after taxes, they all getting 65 grand. You think that shit is getting stapled over any of their churches? Fuck no. That is paying their mortgages and that is getting them new cars. That is just what it is. And they're going to rely on the people. Because that's what religion does. That's why I have a problem with a lot of religion when it comes to Christianity. A lot of these motherfuckers aren't really Christians. They're business owners. I got a homeboy right now who just sparked up a business and calls himself a reverend. And he wanted me to be a part of his business. And I had to tell him, I can't do that. Just because I'm never going to put business and religion together. I'm never going to put money and religion together.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never going to do that. Whatever I believe in spiritually, I'm never going to put a dollar amount on it.
Yeah. 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 It's just, it's exhausting because this is the complaint that we've had for a while. People saying that there's not, like, we need one leader is not really a real leader. We need to come together. Back in the day, they was on one accord. We're not that. And we finally, at least it seemed, to look like we was on one accord. And the fact that these coalitions came and crossed the picket line, one that they never was even for real participating in, and they took it upon themselves to be a part of it and then cross it. It's like, damn, this is the reason why they can get over on us all the time, because we cannot come together and be one band and one sound. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, I'm not even mad at Target. Like, Target found a way to get around this shit.
Well, one thing about war is you can never be mad at your enemy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The whole thing in a nutshell is, just keeping it a total being, is this has been happening with us for years. If you think about it, the very same people that we're seeing side with Target was the same people that did not agree with what Martin Luther King was doing. They wanted him to side. Like, let's just know what I'm saying. Like, all right, now you're gonna go into my and I'll wrap this up, but you'll get into my militant me. This same coalition has been a part of the problem for since the 60s, and nobody has said nothing. And they slid with them. All the ones that we thought was the shit until niggas go start getting nerfed off, and then they was like, oh, okay, if you can't beat them, you join them, type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they had issues with Martin Luther King. They had issues with Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying? Because they feel like it's a pecking order. They feel like these young guns don't need to come in there. We've been putting in the time. They need to respect us. You know what I'm saying? Even though they coming in with different ideas that may just work, because what the fuck you been doing ain't been working. You know what I'm saying?
They've been and they've been doing it before that. They've been ever since Jesus turned over the table at a tabernacle and said, "This is not how you serve my Father."
Mm-hmm.
They have been on our ass.
Yeah.
Like, let's just keep it 100. Like, as much as people don't think I know what I'm saying, it's I'm a spiritual person. Like, my nigga, they've been doing this shit for years. That's why I stand on how I stand on. That's why I read what I read and I look up what I look up, because I want to tell y'all the truth on everything. Now, I'm not an expert on anything at all, but what I will tell you is this is a conglomerate that's been going on for years. God's people will never, ever be at the table that they want to be in, because greed and money always outweighs the motherfuckers that are at that fucking table. That is just what it is. You were looking at motherfuckers that looked at a small amount of money and thought that was right. Just like Judas sold Jesus out for a couple of, not a fucking bag full. And the Bible, they didn't say they gave him a wagon full of silver. And gave him a bag full of that shit. Couple of pieces, actually. This is what we're, man.
But them type of people are in every race. It's white
Exactly.
people that did that too. So that's why I'm not shocked about it. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's always gonna be, it's never gonna be everybody's on one accord when it comes to certain things like that. It's always gonna be somebody that's gonna buckle under the pressure and sell out. And that's with Chinese, that's with Mexicans, it's with whites, MAGA. Like, somebody's going to do it. So yeah, you would think we wouldn't, because we the most oppressed, but no.
And boy, you said it in a nutshell, because we the most, but we do it the most. We man, come on, we'll sell out. The reason why we're not where we want to be is because our original leaders were killed off by motherfuckers that would rather exchange 15 pieces of silver for themselves instead of years of change for everybody. You know, it's just a hard appeal to swallow, but it's the truth, and it's crazy. And to watch churches do this and claim they're for you and claim that they're, you know what I'm saying, that they want to stop oppression when you literally are helping it happen. It to me is just so asinine, and that's why I just be like, man, most of the time people don't want to hear my rant, because I'll start getting disrespectful to these churches, and I don't want to do it, especially when it comes to a lot of things. And I'll end it at this: Christianity is a real thing. If you are a Christian, or you believe that you are a Christian, understand this: money doesn't rule your faith. Money doesn't rule the way that you live. We have been warped into a weird situation where not we, but most Christians believe in the almighty dollar instead of the all-powerful person that created us.
Yeah.
And once we start believing back into what created it and who actually God is in a whole, things would be different. But I don't think that would ever happen in the generation that I grew up in. And I'll just end it at that. I'm so sick of certain things, and I'll just keep my resolve. Like I'll keep my resolve, because I know that God listens to me and He understands my plight.
Well said. Well said. So, yeah. So that's that. We'll move on. So the last thing that we are talking about this evening is our Diddy update.
Diddy update. Astro Glide ready. Keep it real steady. Pour it down on you. Where that Punisher? Where that other dude? I'ma make them pee on you. I ain't being rude. He be liking it. She be liking it. They'll be acting real funny. I didn't pay this bitch. Like, it's just, here we go.
So yeah. All right. So, yeah, so this week the prosecution rested. The defense came up and they had no witnesses. Diddy spoke for the first time officially, and he did confirm that he was not going to take the stand. He also told the judge he was doing a great job. He also
that's how you get from 30 years to 25 years.
Right. So he did confirm that he was not going to take the witness stand. They came up, they pretty much said that the bear is on the prosecution to come up with the reason why he should be convicted. That bear is not on the defense. They had no witnesses, and then they rested their case. So then they also filed a motion, which they say that this is pretty standard, to have the charges dropped. And when you file this motion, you pretty much, plead your case that the prosecution has not proven without a shadow of a doubt that these acts that he did, he should be convicted of. Of course, almost any time when they do this, the request is denied. This was no different.
Yeah, that was a shot in the dark.
Yeah, I mean, it's standard procedure. So then they spent a whole day trying to go over the rules for the jury when they go to deliberate, which that's standard as well. What they did do, because this is what I woke up to, and it was a whole bunch of rumors going around this particular day, and then people had to come back and clean up and make it clear what actually happened. So I woke up to them saying that they dropped some of the charges, and that sent a firestorm. That did not occur. They did not necessarily drop some of the charges. What they did was they are taking some of the things that they want to consider for the charges back. So, yeah. So I guess whatever transpired throughout this case, they're feeling like some of the examples are not strong. So part of the rules is that they're not to consider certain things when they go to deliberate and whatnot. So that's what actually happened. But no, the charges were not, there was no charges that were dropped. So they spent a day trying to figure out the rules. And then we have the closing arguments. So the prosecution went first with the closing arguments. They spent a whole day going through their closing arguments, and then they spent part of Friday. Then the defense got up there. The head attorney, Mark Alifalo, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I could be totally wrong, but he got up there with no notes and just pretty much freestyled it.
He did a damn good job too.
That's up for debate because I've seen some people say that he did a damn good job. I've seen some people say that he was kind of low key race baiting.
I don't think that's just people just being on some extra, like, because he didn't do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's just all up to your interpretation. But for him to get up there with no notes, I know for me, if I don't need notes, that's because I'm really engaged.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So he definitely, and I was questioning him in the beginning because especially when he was part of the TMZ documentaries, I was just like, is Diddy okay with picking him? Because he don't sound that good, but
he did a, not only do he not to cut you off, but not only did he do a good job, like, if y'all think he's race baiting, like, I think y'all a lot of people believe he's race baiting because of the way he was speaking.
Yeah.
But he was just actually being a part of the situation, and then like bringing it into a normalization to not only the jurors, but he knew this is going to be spoken out to the people. So he wanted to get the people to understand, like, you got to be, let's be clear. It is a bunch of white folks that love Ebonics and don't have education. And a lot of the shit that nigga was saying, a lot of people related to. I'm not saying he was right 100%. Like, he was blowing smoke up everybody's ass, but he did a great fucking job blowing smoke up everybody's ass.
Hey, it's a tap dance, that you really got to do.
Yeah,
especially
he's a lawyer. He's not the nigga. He's not the guy who's working the 8 to fucking 5:30 shift at Burger King where he got to act as he's a lawyer. Nobody's gonna stop him from saying what he fucking wants to say.
Right. And you got to pull a lot of tricks out of your bag, to convince people to let your man walk.
And he was smooth with it, which lets me know he didn't have some black pussy at least one time.
Lord Jesus. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, all right. So they I don't believe that they were done with their closing arguments because they let the prosecution come back and say a couple more things, and then there was a couple of things that the defense said that the prosecution had a problem with, that you're not supposed to object or intervene or anything like that when you're doing closing arguments. However, they do take breaks, and so within a break, the prosecution came up and a couple of times and told the judge, like, there are certain things that he said that he needs to pretty much walk back. And so, they had discourse about that and whatnot. And then the judge gave instructions to not take that particular part into consideration when they go back and deliberate. But Brian Steele, who was part of the defense team, he does this, and it sounds like Mark Nifolo was doing this as well. Like, they know that there's certain things that they can and can't say, and they do it anyway, because as much as you want to tell people don't take it into consideration, you can't unhear stuff. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you can say it and you can go on record and saying that you didn't do it when in all actuality you did. So yeah, it's a slick way of handling things. And I believe Brian still did it so much that the judge was even like, I think you're doing this shit on purpose. So but nonetheless, those things were occurring. And so it's gonna get shot to the jury next week, and they are going to deliberate. Now the judge is he has been this whole time adamant that he wants to be done by July 4th. July 4th is Friday. So this trial has been going on since May, and folks is tired. So we can definitely see them going back there to deliberate for a certain amount of hours and being done with the shit because they over it. They so more than likely they will be done by July 4th, and we'll have his status on if he's going to be a convict or not.
So what do you think? Let's just wrap this up in a nutshell. We gonna go down a panel. What do you think is gonna happen, Lindsay?
I think excuse me. I think as far as the charges for prostitution, I think he's gonna be convicted. Sex trafficking, I'm kind of like on the fence about, because if you're really wanting to get him for this shit, you're gonna go with the sex trafficking. If you're really thinking about it very, very, very logically, and you're applying this situation to yourself, and you may have done something that they're trying to consider is sex trafficking, you're gonna be like, yeah, no. As far as the RICO, they have the case. They have proven the RICO. It's not strong, and it's not your typical RICO. Nonetheless, they have proven it. But I feel that he's not going to get convicted of the RICO. Bree, what do you think?
Excuse me. He's going to not. I don't think he's going to get the sex trafficking. I don't think he's going to get that. I think they are going to end up fluke hitting him with that RICO. And I think he's going to have to do 20 years.
So what about the prostitution? You think he's going to get that?
Yep. That with the RICO. That with that little bitty RICO case, because they proved it. That's when you said they did.
Mm-hmm.
They proved it.
They proved the RICO.
And all it needs to do is be proven. So he can still get hit with some joints for that. So I do think he's going to get that. And I think that he's going to have to do 20. The minimum he's going to have to do is 20. They might try to hit him with some stupid shit and be like, oh, we're going to charge you with 30 years, but you can get out in 20. He's going to be able to come home just because of how much money he got. Because he's going to have to pay hella restitution back, and you know what I mean, a lot of stuff. So, but I think Diddy's done. I think Diddy diddled, man. Like, he's out. You know what I mean? He's not above the law, and that's why they gonna do it. He's a black man that was acting like he was, even though he was doing the same shit he probably seen other people doing.
Oh, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that, nigga. You know what I mean? So,
like literally.
So he's gonna get about 20. I can see them kids crying. I don't think them little girls need to go to his thing when the verdict. I don't think they need to be there. Them boys, yeah, but them girls don't need to be there because he's not gonna come home. I know they think he is, but he's not.
Lily, what you think?
So I will honest to God say this. For me, what I think is going to happen is RICO charge is definitely sticking. Just because that immunity that they were giving people and them being a part of the Bad Boys enterprise is going to stick him to that RICO charge. Even though it's a small, like a lot of people look at it like, it's kind of small. But again, it is a business or a legal business that you are doing things that you know are illegal with the drug. So that is going to stick. And the only reason why I know that's going to stick is because I know niggas that went to jail for 5 years for having a conversation with a nigga. Not even that they sold dope with the nigga. They had a conversation about dope with a nigga and they went to jail for 5 years. So that's how Rico does. So, you know what I'm saying? So I know he's going to get the Rico. I know he's going to get the sex trafficking for the fact of the whole matter of him with the Rico having his people that's supposed to be a part of the Bad Boys enterprise helping to delegate that shit, like helping to push that around and give money and or not give money, because even if you don't give money, the whole fair exchange was on that is being witnessed with is we're watching that motherfuckers are not only testifying, but it's like text messages and voice recordings of pay this to this or don't pay this man anything because they didn't perform. So the Rico and the sex trafficking is going to stick. I think Puffy is going to get 25 years with time served and 80%. Puffy's going to be in jail for 16 and a half. And that's what I believe. I could be wrong.
He's going to jail.
But he's going to jail. At the end of the day,
he's definitely going to jail.
Going to jail. If Bill Cosby can go to jail from a 40-year ago fuck, Puffy is definitely going to jail.
Yeah, he's going to jail. I mean, I think he'll probably do 10 with time served.
If you do 10, it's the money.
Boy, Bree, you took the words right out of my mouth, because I know you said that earlier, and I'm like, nah. If he do 10, it's because he didn't pay. He didn't pay somebody to break it down, because he's going to jail.
Yeah.
But the thing in a nutshell is, I want to say this, and I want everybody to listen to me about this, because I've been adamant on this since it happened. At the end of the day, let's not, as black people, let's not try to defend him as a black man getting caught up under the structure of they just trying to oppress us. Let's not do that.
Ain't nobody doing that shit. He didn't got caught doing too much.
No, people are doing that.
People are doing that, Bree, like real shit.
Where people are doing that. We on this show haven't done that, but I have watched.
I haven't seen they have done it. Defend this man and say that yet.
I've seen plenty of even Dr. Umar does it.
Mm-hmm. I watched this live where it was a very compelling argument where they was, because like there was like one person whose nephew is currently going through a RICO, you know what I mean, and they were really, really, really adamant about this being a black man thing, to where they ended up knocking down the panel to just black men, and you know, like it went left. As far as I'm concerned, it went left, because I'm like, this is not this.
Yeah.
But but that's what people think, you know.
So my whole thing in a nutshell is this. At one point, we as human beings got to start taking accountability for ourselves and not the accountability for the people that we are around. Motherfuckers get so caught up in, it was my association, No. Just because you hang out with a hoe don't mean you become a hoe. And you know what I'm saying? Like, let's stop doing that, because that's what and I hate to say it, but I'm gonna keep it 100. That's what a lot of weak ass motherfuckers has been doing. They've been trying to say it's because of the industry that got Puffy this way. No, Puffy had a choice, and Puffy chose to do this. It is what it is, and Puffy needs to be held accountable for it. Puffy he's the equivalent of what y'all are trying to defend is when y'all were in elementary school and 5 niggas ran out the room and they caught the 5th nigga, and the 5th nigga was like, well, why am I in trouble? Why didn't get in trouble for this? Nigga, we didn't catch them. We caught you. And you're in trouble and you're suspended. You little stupid motherfucker. Like that's just what it is. And the only reason why I say that is because anybody that grew up with me understand that I've never rode on anybody. Like, nigga, my affidavits are true. I ain't, nigga, you can catch anything from any of my any situations I've been in. I ain't never rode on nobody because I ain't got no time to. If you call me, you call me. Nigga, do your job and find somebody else. I'm not speaking on shit. My whole thing and my thing in a nutshell is with that, we have lost integrity when it comes to us as individuals. You take your shit. Last time my house got kicked in, everybody in my neighborhood would tell you I did some shit that they didn't even think that I was supposed to do. Nigga, I wasn't about to let them look for my mama or look for the landlord or any of that shit. Nigga, I walked to the police and said, I'm the person you looking for. And they like, what? And I'm talking about hand to the Bible on my son. I said, man, listen, who y'all looking for? We looking for Berta. I'm Berta. I'm not, we ain't about to go through the rigmarole. If I'm caught, I'm caught. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. A lot of y'all get so caught up in this is why I'm doing this because I was taught the wrong way, or this person did me this way, or this person. No, I still chose to do the things that I did. I chose to do the things that I did, and I chose to do the things that I did way beyond what them people taught me. So, you know what I'm saying? So let's put it in perspective. We can go into the whole thing of how he did Cassie and Jane Doe, which is 50 Cent baby mama. We can talk about that. And let's really talk about it. Yeah. They were victims that got caught up into doing everything that Puffy wanted to do. But Puffy did not one time get a moral compass to say, man, this ain't right. And he continued to do it. And he continued to do it. And he continued to pay somebody to go here from there to do that. On top of having somebody that's a part of a real business pay for drugs here and there. So therefore, you are guilty on some level on crime, and then you are guilty on 100%. Your moral aspect is fucked up.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Let's just do that. Like, at the end of the day, man, Puffy is a monster. I've been telling y'all from the jump on this. I'm never going to change my resolve. And if you think that that's going to make me stop listening to bad boy music, no, I ain't saying that. Because Lil Kim, Notorious K.I.M. is one of the hardest albums out. I would never, ever stop listening to that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But what I will say is the CEO of the company is a bad fucking person. And if he goes to jail, he fucking goes to jail. Who do I give a fuck? I'm still going to play. You know, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as we here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never. Been this
before pleasure.
You know what I'm saying?
He
I'm
gonna
still say the nigga that wrote that needs to be in fucking jail.
Well, he didn't write it. Hold on, time out. You know, he didn't write it.
Yeah, he didn't write it, but I'm just saying. Like, you know,
they dropped him. That's the song he gonna play when he get out. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And he should.
Somebody's gonna be playing it for him outside.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but he ain't coming home.
I mean,
he ain't
as much. I mean, I'm not a big fanatic, but I am a fan of Diddy. And as much as I want to say free my nigga Diddy, I can't say free my nigga Diddy because my nigga Diddy ain't coming home.
You know,
going to jail, and he know he going to jail. And again, like I said last week, the whole thing in a nutshell is the problem with that is, and because you know I'm gonna get a lot of backlash for this, especially with Men's Mental Health Month, but it's those little girls that I'm really worried about because that type of man is exactly why women are scared of men. Like we like let's put it in perspective. This type of man who gets so much power that they believe that they can control people is the reason why a lot of women are scared of men.
Yeah. It's sad. It's sad and unfortunate that these these kids have to learn about their father's sexual behavior in a court. Um
Shit that we had to learn about it. Then us, that he traumatized us too.
he did.
Yeah,
He did. But
100%.
it hits different when it's your dad. Like I don't want to hear about my daddy having sex. And I don't want to hear about how he has sex. You know what
Nasty
I'm saying?
too.
Okay, like gross, ill.
He
You know,
nasty too. It wasn't just normal. Like, well, he had
Yeah.
some women in the room with him. Like, no, they got in the nitty gritty.
yeah,
Like,
they got very explicit. Um,
It's one of
another,
the, it's trauma. It is so much. I ain't even gonna bring up because I can go into how this happens so much in our community with po niggas that do this type of shit. I ain't even gonna bring up like my trauma. I'm just saying, and the trauma of them. Like I said last week, these his daughters have to go to the realization of their father was a real monster. The father that they looked up to and thought that was the bee's knees and the end all be all was this tyrant that did what he did to other women. It's going to be very traumatic on them. On top of the man that he raised, because these are men that and they have to understand that their whole mentality have to change
yeah,
because the things that he taught them that was okay is not fucking okay.
yeah. So speaking of his kids, so there has been a couple more lawsuits that dropped this week as well. There is a lawsuit that involves Justin. That's who is actually being sued. And basically what that story is that he met a girl on Snapchat, flew her out, and she claims to have been gang raped. And one of the people that she got gang raped by was Diddy. So we have that lawsuit. Then there's another lawsuit for Diddy, and it's from a man who's saying that he was raped. Now, I listened to somebody pretty much read the highlights of that one, and that one sounds like cap. That one
Everything that
sounds
comes
like
out now is going to be capped. The reason why is because we've seen two of the most intimate people with Puffy, and Puffy doesn't involve himself. So um, that's where we can draw the line on it. Like Puffy's a monster. Let's just keep it a bean. I'm not gonna shoot it down. Puffy's a monster. So unless they're talking about some degenerate shit about him peeing on them or telling them what to do sexually with another man, we're not gonna go into the whole unless they have actual evidence. We're not gonna go into the whole Puffy was a part of a gang rape.
yeah, yeah, and that's with the girl that's suing Justin.
Yeah, that's the same thing that they did with and that's gonna get swept under the rug because
Mhm.
and not swept under the rug per se, like that didn't happen. What I'm saying is I don't believe it's true just because of we've already seen what type of person Puffy is. Puffy is not the person that implements himself into that. He puts other people into those situations. And
Yeah,
this is what makes him the monster that I've been saying that he is. I've been standing on this for the longest, y'all. If y'all haven't listened to this podcast, I have never wavered from telling y'all Puffy is a motherfucking monster. Period. The reason why he's a monster is because he's a manipulative, narcissistic person who wants other people to do the deeds that he would never do to somebody else. It just is what it is. So certain things that are going to come out, all of that shit is just for a cash grab.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? We know what type of time this nigga's on.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bisexual man that just don't want to put a dick in his hand. Like just to be 100, but he's gonna make somebody else do it.
Yeah. And then he has a fascination with big ones. And from what I've heard it from a couple of people. His ain't big. So
They said it was like a Tootsie Roll.
one of
Sad.
those
So
lawsuits
sad.
said that. And then put
So
a picture
bad,
of a
so
Tootsie Roll
sad.
in the lawsuit. But then I heard from one of the escorts, it ain't big. So
It looked like he
So sad.
niggas that got all balls. He looked like that. He don't. He ain't never look. I ain't never looked and seen a no a print. Now that I look back on things,
I ain't never looked
like,
for a print.
where was your mind working when you really like you could compartmentalize like all of the fucking footage you ever seen on that nigga? Like, yeah, I ain't never seen a print.
I mean,
I never looked for one. So
Exactly.
just was looking, but it wasn't. I didn't look like that. It wasn't like every time, but I don't recall seeing anything. And then I never even. This is how I didn't care when I looked on my own. I
There
never
we go. Here come the truth.
like I was like, oh, I didn't see a print, and it didn't stick with me. You know what I mean? But now, yeah, I could see it being. He looks like that kind of dude. He does. He just does. Like he just does. He looks like he's lagging in the shorts, and
That's terrible.
he do. I'm not shocked. I mean, to be honest, nobody they say would shock me. It wouldn't like I'd be like, what? But he looked like it. I ain't. That's miserable. That got to be a miserable feeling to be that obsessed with a big dingling that you go to the loops and bounds you went to.
That's wild.
Now you in pokey. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's wild. I just for my man that are listening to this, I will say this: whatever you have, if you have somebody, just be grateful and just be good. If you know who you and my I will say this in the immortal words of Kevin Samuels, you know if you got a big dick or not. If you don't and you have a significant other, be glad. Just be glad that you have that. And know that she loves you for you. From what I've been told, it only takes like 4 inches to satisfy a woman. I don't know that nature. Because I have to take up for myself. I don't know that nature, but that's what I've been told. But you guys, just if you have somebody, and you know that you don't have a peen that people want to look at, you probably you need to be glad at what you have, and just not do no deviant shit that Puffy did.
Yeah, that's something that you can't really help.
You can't help it.
Yeah.
But you can help being an asshole.
You can definitely help being an asshole. I agree with you on that. Definitely agree with you on that.
I mean, thank God. Thank God I wasn't burdened with that.
I think it's funny that now that I'm looking back on things when he was messing with Young Miami, I think that she was down to do that shit he wanted to do with her. And it was because it's like if he like it makes sense for all of them. If he presented this man and was like, y'all do it to him, of course you're gonna pick the man over you if he's smaller. You know what I mean? Like he knew he couldn't satisfy them, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah, and it does make sense.
Yeah, I got sisters. My one of my sisters used to tell this was a couple of years ago, but she was like, I don't need limitless shrimp. Like that, no. She was like, just give me a big dick for 5 minutes. I'm fine. Don't give me a nigga that want to go rounds and this nigga dick is little. Like I don't want to do that. I'm gonna be bored.
I just feel like size isn't everything because it can be too big. But as long and it shouldn't I don't want to be there all night. But
Be like
I
Seinfeld. I faked it. You did? Yes.
yeah, I want this shit to be over at some
Why'd you
point in
fake it?
time.
Ready for it to be over.
Yeah. So, but I feel like whatever you have, you need to make the experience enjoyable. Because I mean, you can be working with a Tootsie Roll and be the best thing since sliced bread.
So that
And you could be working with a monster and it be painful and horrible and terrible and all the negative adjectives you can find. So yeah, like I just whatever you got, just make it enjoyable
Nah,
for the person that you're with.
I don't know. I've never experienced any one of those things because I'm a man. I just, you know,
Me either. I'm a virgin, so yeah.
I don't know anything about that. I'm so grateful that I've never been in the category of anybody calling my shit a Tootsie Roll. Like, that's mad business right there.
Man, and put it in a lawsuit at that.
And put it in a lawsuit. That is, I've never been a part of that. I've
looks mighty good.
you know,
Whatever it is, I think I see.
just being quite honest, I've been in a situation where at my job where somebody accused me of doing something, and they accused me of doing something because of they thought I was gyrating in front of them, and I was literally just moving out the way, and they accused me of like he was just waving it in front of me, and I'm like, listen, I was not trying to do that, but for the fact that that's what you were focused on, all right, it just lets me know that I have something that can that should be looked at. You know what I'm saying? Like kudos for that for happening, but like that is not what I was trying to do.
Right.
I was literally trying to take care of a situation.
Right. So Just the Fact says Diddy lured Jane into hotel nights with false promises of love, romance, and travel, manipulating her consent through fraud, not genuine choice. Jane was defrauded, hence she was sex trafficked. And to that point, if he is convicted of this under those certain instances, that's going to set a precedent going forward with how people deal with relationships, because relationship people, do things that they maybe not necessarily are 100% in agreement with, but they do it to accommodate their partner, or people do go into situations under false pretenses. Like if you meet somebody online and they telling you that they're 6'4", and then you meet them and they're 5'4", that's a false pretense. Like, you got me to come out on this date and you come up to my nipple. What? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, am I gonna be able to file charges against a person? Or if I'm in a relationship with somebody and I've done things that I didn't want to do, but for the sake of them, I did it anyway. On Mad Day, am I going to be able to file charges? You know what I mean? Like it's going to set a precedent going forward that I don't think is necessarily a positive thing.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. This at the end of the day, man, this is what we really have to really put in a nutshell. Is like the things that happen with what's going on with Puffy. Like, okay, none of that was right, but this is the Pandora box that opens now. The Pandora box that opens now is that now people can say or people can make an accusation of something that is just truly not accurate. And that's why I tell people all the time, I on this show, I've said it countless times, we gotta stop being in a dick and pussy business. Like, I now when it comes to like grape or PDF files, all that is a whole different thing. But when it comes to just dick and pussy business, we got to stay up out of it.
Yeah,
we really do.
Yeah. Just the fact says if someone is manipulated, threatened, or pressured into doing something, especially through fear of harm, that's coercion, and it makes any supposed consent from Jane and Cassie invalid under the law. The Jane situation, I feel like, is completely different from the Cassie situation. Like the Cassie situation is a case.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, it
Yeah.
is. Like
The
I
Jane situation, I mean, they
I
ended
do
up becoming
believe
under a love contract, and under the guidelines of the love contract, she got what she agreed to.
that's what I was about to say. I really don't think, because I love how the defense is playing it, but we really have to understand that if you sign a contract for certain things, that then it is what it is. Now, if you sound and she never said she signed that contract under distress. That's the biggest. That's the big thing in a nutshell. If she said she signed it under distress, then everything that she said afterwards, I would have buried the shit out of Puff. But she never said she signed it under distress. Even now, how she's living is via Puff.
Yeah.
So you know what I'm saying? It's like, I get what you're saying, but at the end of the day, we really have to understand that the things he wasn't doing, that shit was wild and was crazy, and we can, and that's why I'm pushing the RICO. But at the same time, that whatever contract and sexual relationship that they had, I don't really want to get into that. I just want to, I just would really want to stick on the shit that I know that's gonna stick to him, is that fucking with an enterprise and actually spending money on certain things. It's the RICO charge.
Yeah. Me personally, I feel like they could have kept Jane. Now they was already flying with that Cassie shit. That Cassie shit was more complicated and it was more volatile. And it was more intertwined with the enterprise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just the fact says, I disagree because Jane accounts of financial dependence, drug use, and emotional manipulation underscore the government's effort to prove a pattern of coercion, which is central to the charges against Diddy. They also say, in this case, a crime was committed during love contract between Diddy and Jane, and that is where we are, and that is why we are here right now.
Okay, just the facts. Okay. So I'll put it like this. So I get what you're saying, and I understand how the law works, but I will say, from her testimony alone, that she not only was deeply involved, but still wants to be deeply involved with Puffy. So it's not one of those things where it's a situation where she feels like she was manipulated. What it feels like, or excuse me, not even saying what it feels like. Through her testimony, it just sounds like she is a woman that is jaded. That was, you know what I'm saying? Her immunity, for me, didn't mean anything because she was just talking about being jaded. If this was not happening right now, like, I get the abuse and all that, like, and when I say abuse, I like all the things that she stated, because we're going off of her testimony from a immunity. So for immunity purposes, she was telling the whole truth, nothing but the truth. So I get the abuse. Also, she also said she initiated those things. For me, if I was a lawyer, or even me as now, I would say all of that shit is irrelevant. Just because of the simple fact, not only did you sign a contract, but you were an aggressor. Now, the only thing that I will say is going to hinder that is the fact that if you said you didn't want to do drugs and he gave you drugs anyway, that's just going to go back and tie in to the whole drug trafficking and Rico case. And you know what I'm saying? That's it.
But then this
never
is the
going to act
thing.
like Jane didn't know certain things going on.
Right. But this is the thing with the Jane Doe situation. She testified that she tried to do those freak offs without drugs and she preferred to do them with drugs. So that kind of takes away from
making that right there.
Do them, you know.
Yeah, that takes that especially when you signed when you signed a contract saying that that's what you were willing to do.
Yeah. So Justifact says, do you think it is okay for Diddy to threaten Jane to send the freak off tapes to her baby daddy? Come on, brother. Let's be objective here.
I don't agree to anything that Puffy did, brother. Like, I don't agree to anything that Puffy did. What I'm saying is, at one point, we have to stop getting into this whole motive of people didn't know what was going on. Like, that's the whole objective that I'm trying to put in place. Like, that's what I'm saying. I didn't have a disagreement with that. But at the same time, it's a reason why you sign immunity. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's be clear. It's a reason why you sign immunity, because you might say something that'll put you in the same bag that he was in. That's what I'm trying to place to y'all. I'm not again, if you were watching us this whole time, just the facts, I've been saying off the flip, Puffy's a fucking monster and he needs to do whatever he needs to do. But what I'm saying at that same breath, I'm saying some people, Jane Doe, 50 Cent baby mama, let's just be 100. You know, let's just do that. A lot of things she was actually privy to and actually down with. She was 100% down with.
And I feel like he kept it one with her.
Yeah.
I feel like for the most part, I feel like he kept it one with her.
Yeah. Like, we're not gonna beating up. I would never say you got to put your hands on a woman. I feel like if you got to put your hands on a woman, you need to go ahead and step out. So I'm never saying that. But what I'm saying is the things that they're trying to peg him on. No, a lot of that shit was pure consensual. You can't turn around and be mad about it at the end of the day. And I think that's where a lot of people think that I become toxic. Mm-hmm. You can't tell me before we do drugs I'm down with this, and then after we do drugs you're not down with it. No, you can't. No.
But I mean, you do have the right to change your mind.
You do have the right to change your mind, but legally, before you did that, you were down. Don't blame it because I got you high. Because before we got high, you was G.
Yeah.
Now whatever happened before, whatever happened after that, I will have to understand. But in the meantime, in between time, in the first place, you were down for it.
Yeah. So Justifact says, no, let's respect the judge's wishes and her privacy.
Okay.
And that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah. That's fair. I ain't gonna argue with that. You 100% right. That's fair. But that's 50 Cent baby mama. What the fuck are we talking about? What the fuck are we doing? Like, I'm not about to get the fuck out of here. They even said that. They even said it in the affidavits, like we know who she is.
They said it in the closing arguments too.
You know what I'm saying? Get the fuck out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? You wound that pitch up. Bow. You know what I'm saying? That's a home run right there for me, buddy.
But yeah. It's crazy when it comes to that Jane situation. Justifact says Diddy paid $100K to a security guard for the surveillance footage and a signed agreement barring the guard from speaking. This is evidence of obstruction of justice and bribery. Enough for a RICO.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're not defending Puffy. Just the facts. Like, I don't know when you got in here, but we're not defending Puffy.
Yeah. And he said, do you want to defend this charge too? LOL. No.
Yeah, you came in the wrong time. Like, you think we're defending Puffy. We're not.
Yeah. No, that ain't the case. We all have said, yeah, that Rico was proven. That Rico was proven. He says, I'm just trolling now, LOL.
Yeah, okay,
I
I
got
get that.
you.
All right, Jim Jones, go ahead and be your Jim Jones.
Yeah. But yeah, yeah, that Rico was definitely proven. It's not strong, but nonetheless. And and what they said in their closing arguments on the prosecution side, all you need is one.
Yeah.
All you need is one. And yeah, just because out of 100 times you got it right 99 times, but you did one thing wrong, you did it wrong. And then because I have said this as well, like I don't think he knew a lot of that shit that he was doing was illegal. But it doesn't matter at the end of the day if you knew if it's illegal or not.
It's the fact that you did it.
Just the fact that you did it, because I mean we can say that shit all day. Oh, I didn't know that was illegal. Like if you get pulled over and you don't know the speed limit, but the speed limit is actually 35 and you're hitting 60. You can't tell the cop, oh, I didn't know, and the cop is gonna be like, oh, okay, well, go on about your business. Like, no, you're still gonna get a ticket, whether you do or not. You're still gonna get a ticket. So, and with these newer cars, shoot, they ain't even no excuse because my car tells me the speed limit.
Or you can get caught,
Yeah.
and you try to do Nino Brown, and the people around you go ahead and be smart and get immunity and be like, hell no, hold on. This nigga runs the enterprise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's what we're seeing.
Yeah. Just the fact says, I may be trolling for content or public opinion, but as a community, we should treat this as a teachable moment to inform, reflect, and help deter others from making the same mistakes. Agreed.
Totally agree.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Just the facts.
Yeah. It's a crazy situation. It has a lot of people glued in to this whole case as a whole. They're learning more about the law and how that works and how they can change what they do in their personal life, because at the end of the day they might get caught with a RICO. Shit. You just
might just get hit with the RICO.
Yeah, right. So Just the Fact says, prediction: within 5 years, Cassie's husband Alex Fine files for divorce and claims half. The story will come full circle. He was the mastermind all along. The personal trainer played the long game. You know what? I honestly
that could be true.
Yeah, I honestly have heard a couple people say that he was gonna leave her.
I was about to say I don't even think it's gonna be 5 years.
Yeah, it might just be when the dust settles. Shit. Yeah. That's a lot that he had to take on. So if it gets to the point where he's like, I'm gonna have to put my mental health first, I cannot handle this shit. I'm not gonna be mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. It's gonna be unfortunate because you don't never want to see nobody break up, but I'm not gonna be mad because that was a lot that he had to watch. He had to learn the details. And I'm sure she did not sit down with a cigarette at the dining room table and be like, hey, and running from A to Z. You know what I'm saying?
I think I might have briefed him beforehand. Like, she didn't get into specifics because he ended up in the courtroom after a certain year. He couldn't hear it or something.
Yeah.
What happened was he had to leave. They forced him to leave because he could have potentially been a witness that the defense would have brought up. So it was a whole ordeal. Like they had to rule on at a certain point he had to leave, but he was there specifically for moral support because she was like 8.5 months pregnant on the witness stand. So, but yeah, Just the Fact says there is no way Diddy's legal team authored that underwhelming closing argument, which failed to address the core legal allegations. It appears Diddy may have written it himself. No, he freestyled that. Mark,
I was about to say that was right. Yeah, that was off the cuff.
Yeah, he freestyled that. He had 0 notes up there, and he mentioned how he had no notes. So, yeah.
Bring it back to Cassie. Bringing it back to Cassie, I'll just say this. The reason why I know whatever's going on with her, and if they last forever, they last forever, 100%. But I can guarantee you, and it's gonna sound funny, but it's the truth. If that man has been through any trial and tribulation about, hey, he wants some, and she like, I don't feel it today. Why you trying to push up on me? And that all this all extra, and then he's sitting there in trial and listening to all of the sexcapades that she did and the shit that she was down for. Oh man, you talk about a hit to your psyche,
man. But not even knowing the grave details, just the fact that he's the person right after this traumatic
exactly
relationship. So that means that he's getting her during her healing process, which has ebbs and flows. You got to be a strong person to be there for somebody that's going through bullshit aftermath of a traumatic experience.
And
you know
you 100% right, Lindsay. And I would never downplay anybody that's been through a tragic event on anything. But I will say this: if you can't suck my dick on a Tuesday, and I know a couple of years ago you got peed on by 3, you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up. Fuck are we talking about?
And then you'll get hit with a RICO for doing that.
You got me. I ain't about to do nothing to her. I'm about to go. Like, you can't tell me I can't do nothing else.
Yeah, but if she is coerced into sucking your dick,
I'm not even. No, I'm not about to coerce you. If you just say no, like after this whole ordeal right here, where I found out what you was doing, if I just be like, hey, boom, 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 I don't feel it. You can't be mad at me for going somewhere else. I'm gonna keep it one, and let's we have a real serious conversation. Again, it's trauma, and it's a whole thing built up into it. But man, we done had 3 kids already, so nigga, damn, for real.
But then that plays into her trauma because
they do everything apparently because they got them kids. So she's
yeah, they doing shit. They
doing shit. But if you, the minute you be like, I don't feel it, you didn't feel it when the Punisher came through, bitch.
Lord. But then that, like I said, that plays into her trauma, and you're hindering her healing if you're doing shit like that. She's gonna have flashbacks.
I'm gonna go get a side piece. Lord, I'm gonna go get a side piece.
All right.
Not doing any of that. They're fucking. She's overset.
I know that, Bree. Like I'm just making a joke. I know off the flip, Cassie a goddamn freak. That nigga ain't going nowhere. That she's pulling some shit off. He ain't never even seen this whole fucking life.
He never knew existed. Right?
That's why he putting babies in her, because he can't leave that.
Right. So Just the Fact says, by invoking domestic violence, the defense is acknowledging patterns of abuse, intimidation, and physical and psychological control, elements that meet the legal threshold of coercion. Federal courts have consistently rejected attempts to minimize sex trafficking to domestic violence when the elements of coercion, sex acts, and control are present. Diddy will be no different.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
I mean, we're all in 100% agreement. I think you're giving us more of the intellectual terms of what we're saying.
Yeah, just the facts.
And, you know what I'm saying? It's just the facts. So Just the Facts is giving us just the facts. Yeah. But yeah, we're all in agreements of everything that you're saying, Brody.
Mm-hmm.
Or sister, because I don't want to mess with nobody pronouns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So Diddy will be found guilty for knowingly transporting individuals across state or international borders with the intent for them to engage in prostitution. He's facing 20 years on these charges alone.
I said that.
I said 100%. That one he can't get around.
Yeah.
That one he can't get around.
I said that. I said
just,
that off the flip.
Just is what it is. That one just is what it is. Now, what I think that once this is all said and done, I don't think it's going to be immediate. It may be towards the end of his term, but I think that Trump will pardon him.
Yeah, Trump might do
Because
it.
I low key think that Trump does or has done some of the shit that is being alleged in this court case.
That's a whole nother ordeal. Like Trump,
Yeah.
Trump literally is on record saying, "I just grab him in the pussy."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like
So
that's a whole nother thing right there. So
yeah.
I mean, I could see him doing that at the end of this at the end of this term.
Mm-hmm.
But the sentence is the sentence. Like I said, I think he's gonna get 25 years, and I think he's gonna do 80% with a little bit of time served. So 15 and a half, maybe 16 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, he's definitely gonna get some time. It just, I mean, it sucks for the kids, you know.
Exactly. That know what I'm saying. That's the whole thing in a nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
And again, not downplaying the sons, but those women, like the twins, and then that little girl, like that's your daddy is a part of the problem, and that's what's gonna eat them for the rest of their life.
Yeah, that's what I'm mainly thinking of is the baby love, because everybody else is adults, you know. Everybody else is adults. They have had their kid. They have had their dad the majority of their lives at this point. Baby love is gonna grow up without her father being free. You know what I'm saying? She's gonna have a totally, yeah, she's gonna have a totally different experience. And then, like I said on another episode, that I got it from attorney Simone Redwine, that if he does get convicted of that RICO, they can seize his assets, and they're gonna go through his finances with a fine tooth comb, see everything that he's paid for, and they can take his money, they can take his businesses, they can take his property, they can take the property that he paid for, which would include his mama's house. They can also take what he has funded, which is college funds and trust funds for those kids.
Oh,
So
we.
they can leave, like, yeah, this can leave everybody destitute.
And well, shit,
And he
unless he did a freak off with every last one of them jurors, shit, that RICO's sticking.
Yeah. So, and that's the part that sucks, because we know that his job, his businesses are for the most part legitimate. Nobody's talking about an illegitimate business.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So we know that this money has been made by legal means. And the fact that you can take this money and seize it and put it over in a pot for his restitution and for his lawsuits. You know what I'm saying? That's where this stuff will go. You know, that's wild. That part is wild. And that's if he gets hit with that RICO.
The fact that Puffy
mm-hmm.
is literally in the embodiment of get him to the Greek.
Man,
it's crazy to me.
Right.
Like this nigga played himself.
He played that role so good that it was you. You was playing like
he was playing him. That's why I was so comfortable. Like none of us was like, oh, he was acting.
Yeah, right. That is so well, because I have been thinking about that movie since it's been going on, you know.
A little bit, like before we knew that this nigga liked to swim in baby pools of baby oil. I didn't think he was really that bad, like get him to the Greek. I thought he was just doing like a over exaggeration of himself of a record, but no, that was him.
Yeah.
That's every bit of him, nigga.
That was him.
Rub on this wall, nigga. Calm down.
Right. And we like, dang, you know, Diddy did that thing in the movie, but shit, he was playing him. That's wild. He's playing him. So Just the Fact says he also can't get around the extortion charge related to Cassie's mom sending him $20,000. I can't believe Diddy waived off his lawyers when they attempted to make a rebuttal. He still wants to be CEO. The feds just hit Albuquerque police with a DUI-related RICO case. Originally designed to dismantle the mob, RICO can and is being applied to broader patterns of organized misconduct. If the feds can use the RICO against the police, the masses should know that anyone can get it. Keep playing if you want it, if you want to. LOL. You 100% correct, because that shit is crazy. And yeah, like, and then we have historically seen RICO cases be on multiple people. We are seeing this RICO case be on one person. So now that's another thing, because that was my main thing. Like, why are we doing a RICO with one person? Like, that don't make sense. They're making it make sense.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
That was the first thing I said when we started this. Like, I've never seen a RICO case with one person. That's why I thought it was gonna be other people. I just assumed Leonardo DiCaprio was gonna come up the woodwork on some shit. I don't know why. I was just throwing out a name, but it was like, but like for it to actually be him, and then because it was just actually the enterprise, and all of these niggas signed immunity. And I was like, oh, now I see what's doing this shit. In Puffy's case, it wasn't bigger than Nino Brown. It was actually just Nino Brown.
Yeah. Now, this is a theory that I heard on another show that I heard has been circulating. They don't know if it's true. They're just saying it's speculations that the parent company of that liquor that he had, I heard that he had pissed them people off, and he would claim discrimination and all this type of stuff like every year. And so he would, to rectify them, he would ask for like a 200 million or some stuff like that. And every year that he would do this, they would give him what he asked for. And I heard that it just got to the point where they was like, you know what, we're done. And then next thing you know, all this shit popped out.
Well, to be quite honest, it's not speculation. It is true to a fault. He wasn't getting it every year, but he did file a lawsuit for discrimination on how they were distributing him and the other liquor companies that were under them. And he kept filing that lawsuit. And he wasn't getting the money, but he kept filing the lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what was going on.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? The only reason why I know this is because when a lot of pro-black individuals like coming against me for what I don't know what I'm saying, for being against Puff, I had to do my due diligence, because they was just saying, oh nah, this is just a scheme because they just trying to knock another black man off and wah. And then when I actually figured, I'm like, no, he's fouling every year. That is why people are saying, but he's not getting money every year. He's just fouling every year because they keep dismissing the shit.
Gotcha. So he was on their head.
It doesn't have any relevancy. It's like you're distributing in certain areas. You're not distributing in every other area. If you want to be distributed in all the other areas, you need to pay for it, sir. Yeah. Okay. That just is what it is. Puffy thinks he needs to be everywhere because he's Puffy.
Yeah. So Just the Fact says the first RICO case you guys heard of with one person was the R. Kelly case. Don't worry, I'm here to refresh your memory and give just the facts. So I'm just now finding
out on here every time.
Yeah, I'm just now finding out that was a RICO. Like,
that's what I was about to say. I think you just reminded me that was a RICO case.
Yeah, like I didn't know when it was going on. I didn't know it was a RICO. I thought it was, his deviant behavior with these minors. I thought that's what was on trial. I didn't, but you're right. Yeah, that
be on here every time, so I won't say nothing that messes up the podcast.
Right. So he says, "Don't worry, I got y'all. This what I do." Appreciate you.
I love you, man.
Yeah,
I love you. Stay doing you, my man.
Right. So but so we will see. More than likely next week, we will see what the verdict is. Yeah. That is our Diddy update.
Diddy update.
Yeah.
It's a RICO case. It's a RICO case. It's a RICO case. Immunity. Everybody ain't really fucking safe because it's a RICO case.
Right. So yeah. Again, Bree, we appreciate you for coming on with us today. Do you have any final thoughts?
Nope. Just keep praying and trusting in the Lord. And ugh, it's a crazy world we live in.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Yeah. You know, just I second those sentiments. Just keep praying and definitely pray for me. So pray for me as I pray for you. Um, but yeah, so Jerry's final thoughts, take it away.
All right. So my Jerry final thoughts is going to be this. I'm going to make it short and sweet, but I really want to make it authentic. We're coming to the end of Man's Mental Health Month. As we come into the end of Man's Mental Health Month, we really have to understand that a lot of us have to deal with a lot of things that are very, very heavy. And some of us, not all of us, are truly the man that we want to be. Um, and the man that we are trying to make ourselves. You're going to go through a lot of storms. It's a real truth of it's only 1%ers in the world. So it's only 1% of men that actually are who they want to be. The rest of us, 99%, are we're just striving, and we're going to go through storms. And what I would ask everybody to do, including the men that are watching these men, to not only lend a helping hand, but also understand that none of the things that they're doing is to hinder you, but it's always to help you. And again, I'm only speaking on the men who are trying to become better men. I am not talking about any of the individuals that are only doing things for personal gain. I'm only talking about the men who are trying to be men in order to make the world better. You have to understand that we have our mental flaws that we go through, and we also have our physical flaws that we go through. But that's not never going to stop us from trying to be who we're trying to be. So for the outside party looking in, don't judge us for making mistakes. Judge us for the way we treat those mistakes. And as always, take care of yourself and others.
Thank you for that. Just the Facts says, I'll give my final thoughts.
Let's do it.
In an age of loud opinions, true objectivity is rare. Many speak, few assess, because informed judgment requires more than emotion and demands evidence and critical thought. It is sad. We need fewer opinions and more informed legal analysis. Black Americans only make up only 5% of the legal profession. It's time we strengthen our presence to advocate for and protect our own communities. 1000%. 1000% in agreement. Yeah. So this is episode 164 of the Ish We Talk, and we will see you guys for episode 165. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe.
Yes.
Bye.
Exactly.